The Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Cuyahoga Community College, Clark Financial Services, Lakewood Hospital, and Parma Community Hospital. From Byersfield, welcome to Week 7 of the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week. Along with my partner, Mike Cairns, I'm Bill Barranque. Always a terrific rivalry. It's Parma and Normandy. Always a lot of emotion, but tonight, wow, a lot more emotions. Tragedy struck Normandy just before kickoff, actually, a couple hours ago. Sophomore Darren Perez passed away.
Yeah, number 26, you'll see it on the helmets tonight. Jake Squirick, the outstanding two-way player for the Invaders, will be wearing number 26. Darren Perez suffered an aneurysm. He collapsed after a workout yesterday, was rushed to Children Rainbow Babies Hospital, passed away just a couple hours ago. Heavy hearts in this game tonight. Over 100 players, coaches, family members showed up at the field to hold a vigil last night in honor of Darren Perez. And Rich Turner really has a very, very tough task because this is something he's never had to deal with in all of his years of coaching.
And it's not just Rich Turner. You come over to Rob Sear with Parma, and all these players know each other so well, and so obviously they're affected by this situation too. Still, they have to try and get things going tonight and get things up. And this is a very exciting offense. When you look over at the Redmen, we saw them a couple weeks ago. They spread it out, they throw the ball, and they have a very dangerous weapon in Brian Swartz.
Right. Coach Turner has always talked about the passing teams are the teams that give the Invaders problem. Guess what, guys? You get a passing team tonight. Kevin Wenzel's an outstanding quarterback. We saw him a few weeks ago. You got to slow down Brian Swartz. 40 catches, over 700 yards in 5 touchdowns. And by the way, Kevin Wenzel closing in on a school record for passing yards. They will be tested through the air tonight.
We're getting ready to get this thing going. It's Parma and Normandy kickoffs coming up next on the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week.
American families like yours are facing financial decisions like never before. You inherit, change jobs, switch retirement plans. You need to understand how to maximize your choices. We can help. Hi, I'm Steve Clark, President of Clark Financial Services. We offer you a robust, comprehensive money management platform. As independent advisors, we keep your interest first in selecting the right investments for you. Call us today. Thanks.
And the coin toss, and Parma will receive the ball first. And, of course, that means Normandy gets the ball at the second half. We get ready to get this thing going. And then, again, you see Jake Squirick wearing the Perez jersey. And, you know, despite everything that's going on, the game goes on. It's still homecoming, and we'll see how the players respond. And as you mentioned before, Rich Turner just really doesn't know what to expect.
Yeah, he said this is something they don't put in the coaching manual when you get a head coach's job on any level. And it hit him so close to home that he didn't even address the team. One of his assistant coaches addressed the team and broke the news to him as they got to the field here today. So it'll be interesting to see. Probably the best thing for them is there is a distraction for them tonight. They're out there playing for their friend, their teammate, and you'll see the 26 on the helmets of every player and also on the coaches' shirts as well tonight.
Yeah, you take a look over at Parma. This it used to be their biggest game of the year. Of course, there's the kick team, and Nick Jareb and Kevin Kuhn split kicking and punting dunes. That's Kuhn that will handle the kickoff. But, you know, the Invaders were always the team, and even if it was a bad season for Parma, if they beat Normandy, it was a big deal. But now Rob Sears says, you know, no, that's not the case anymore, and that's not the kind of program we are anymore. They need this win to keep their push towards the playoffs because they're looking pretty good right now.
Both teams need this win, and that's what's so interesting. They're both in different divisions, different regions. Both of these teams need to run the table to get into the playoffs. They both know it, and wouldn't you know, this backyard brawl is going to decide possibly who moves on and could be playing in the postseason.
So Kuhn kicks off, and it's going to be a short kick fielded by one of the up men. Well, a little bit of problem, and he falls on top of the ball. Believe he retained possession. And so Parma will end up in good position. You know, you have Chuck Kennedy and Brian Swartz deep. They decide to go short, and Parma will take it at their 32. There you get a look the heavy hearts, and, of course, Nick Perez on everyone's mind tonight.
Absolutely. And you saw the players and went through their workout, and there's no tougher way to have to go about this game, but you have to play it. It's their homecoming for Normandy, and that continued on as well. You try to be as close to business as usual for all the kids' sake.
1st and 10 from the 32 for the Redmen. Boy, you see them line up wide, and they are going to spread things out and try to push things. Kevin Wenzel, the quarterback, will run through the players, the rest of the offensive unit in a moment. In motion, Joe Castillo, the give, and that's Keith Smith. Keith Smith, well, maybe picks up a yard. Up front for Parma, the center is Kevin Doan. Then you got Jake Savarsky, Matt Burns on the right side, Joel Tureen, Joe Harsany. The receivers, Kennedy and Swartz, we've talked about them already. Tyler Sinclair is the tight end. Running backs, you have Joe Castillo, and you'll see Keith Smith and Mike Von Benken quite a bit. It's a pickup of 2, 2nd and 8.
And one thing for Coach Sears, they've got to run the football better, and they have done that the last couple of weeks thanks to Keith Smith, who's been healthy all season long, and Mike Van Banken, who had a 100-yard game in the win over Brush last week.
And you see both those guys really did well a couple weeks ago when we caught him in Lakewood. Wenzel's going to keep it, finds himself a hole, gets out just shy of the 40. The ball comes out. They have not signaled it dead. Believe the Redmen recover.
And they've got a first down out of it.
And actually that's Joe Harsany that falls on it. So, the fumble forward, and Parma picks up the first down. The Normandy defense, we'll take a look at this one first of all.
Very unconventional first down. Kevin Smith helped these guys a couple weeks ago. That's a play-action fake. You see Wenzel taking it off, football on the ground. It looks like he was down.
Yeah, that was my thing. I thought he was down when I saw it live, and now seeing the replay, I kind of feel the same way. Regardless, it's 1st and 10 from the 44. We'll run through the Normandy defense after this play. At least we think we do. Parma doesn't give you a lot of time to do much.
No, they don't.
And that's by design. It's Smith up the middle, not much room, and on him right away is Ryan Milligan. They keep this thing going. Up front for the Normandy is Milligan, Keith Toposi, Alex Babel, Dave Huey. Huey put on a pretty good show a couple weeks ago when we saw him. Linebackers Doug Boscovich, Mike Travagalante, and Jake Squirick. The defensive secondary, keep an eye on Michael Lewis, number 22. Bobby Wypasic, Matt Miner, and Casey Pierce round out the secondary.
Yeah, one of the things Coach Turner told us last week when we saw him against Valley Forge, they need to defend the pass better. You're going up against a high-powered passing offense, and once Kevin Wenzel gets it in gear, you got Schwartz and Kennedy. This is going to be a long night if they can't stop the pass.
It was a gain of 3, so 2nd and 7 now. Ball on the 47. Wenzel going to keep it. This is by design. Gets up to the 50, picks up the first down. He's got more. Across the 40 and down to the 35. Hole really opened up. Great call, the quarterback draw.
Big first down, big pickup, and that's got to make Coach Sear happy because one thing they need to do better, he said, is run the football. They come in on a 3-game winning streak. Kevin Wenzel, 6'3", 190-pound senior, finding the lane and pushing it ahead for a first down. Casey Pierce, the quarterback, comes up with the stop.
Gets to the 35 where it'll be 1st and 10. You talk about that winning streak, and a lot of people were questioning Parma coming in this game, saying, questioning the opponents they'd played, but boy, they have opened up sharp against a very strong Normandy defense. Normandy showing blitz. Wenzel adjusting. That's Kennedy in motion. And they delay to Smith. Not much room, trying to bounce outside, and that is terrifically played. I'm not sure. It looked like it was Bobel that came over. Didn't pick up.
Squirick.
Squirick, all right.
Number 26.
I guess you should tell by the way he explodes to the runner. He closed that gap right away.
Keith Smith shreds the first tackle here, kind of bounces off his offensive lineman, but watch 26 come up and wraps him up, gets some help from Toposi to finish things off.
It's a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 now from the 36. Opening drive of the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week. Thrilled to have you with us for this Week 7 matchup, a matchup we always enjoy. And, boy, this might be the best, at least on paper, the best year we've seen those two teams in quite a while. With time, gets Kennedy at the 25. Kennedy down to the 20. First down, Parma.
Chuck Kennedy, 23 catches, 329 yards coming into this game. And Schwartz and Kennedy, a nice compliment. Schwartz will give you the speed. Kennedy kind of the possession type of guy, and he has the slant. And nice throw here Kevin Wenzel has all day. Good protection up front. Defensive back fell down. That was Bobby Wypasic. And another first down for the Redmen. They got a nice drive going here.
Something else you see here on this replay. Look at how poised Wenzel is and just how comfortable he is. We've watched him grow, and he just looks like he's in total control. It's 1st and 10 from the 20. Castillo, the lone back. And they give it to Swartz, trying to get him to swing around. This one, the ball is strung out quite well. First one there is Wypasic. That play had no chance. Good play by the Normandy defense.
And Wypasic, who fell down on the last play, is the one that makes that play by stringing things out, but it was a bad snap. Back to Kevin Wenzel, who had some problems on the end around. Take another look. In motion, that's Schwartz. High snap. Schwartz does a good job to get it down. Watch number 4. Breaks it, finish it. Got some help from Doug Boscovich as well.
Well, the thing is, whenever Swartz goes in motion, everybody pays attention. Of course, you use that play to set up things later. It's a loss of 1 from the 21 now. Second down. Sinclair looked like he got off the line quickly. Doesn't matter. Almost comes up with a catch. Almost picked off. That's good coverage. Back with him is Travagalante. And it's incomplete, bringing up a 3rd and 11.
He had a wide open Jose Castillo out of the backfield. Watch Castillo. He's 34, flares out right there. He is wide open. There is nobody around. There's nobody even close to him, within 10 yards.
You're right. Minor
Nothing
also
but
there
room.
with Travagalante, and he just locked on Sinclair and didn't even notice Castillo. If you could quarterback from up here, you can see the field great.
Absolutely. That's why I don't miss many calls.
No, you still miss me. Believe me.
In high school, I was on my back. I could see everything.
They did get the motion calls delayed because Sinclair did take off a little bit early, but it doesn't matter. Normandy will take the down, so it'll be 3rd and 11 now. And a drive that started off so strong. Well, it looks like the defense taking charge here. 3rd and 11. Think maybe they'll send some people?
I think they will. Then you got to decide, is this 4-down territory, or can you kick the 37-yard
the
field goal?
Invaders are one of those teams that can get good pressure on the quarterback with just their front 4. And meanwhile, Wenzel,
Squirik's the key. You can see he's set back kind of at his 15 right now. But if I'm Kevin Wenzel, I'm keeping an eye on him. If he's staying at home.
You know you are.
Now,
they don't rush any extra.
back.
Terrific possession. Going for the middle. Overthrows everyone. Almost picked off. Trying to get Kennedy. And that's Lewis, who was right there with him.
you talked about him in the pregame show, and that was one of the things that Coach Sear talked about. Number 22, Michael Lewis, goes up and makes a nice play. Great job by Wenzel to go up and get a bad snap. Trying to go up over the top. Lewis jumps the route, gets in front of Chuck Kennedy, and really comes up with a pick.
It's weird. He had a receiver crossing in the middle. I thought that's where he was going. Instead, trying to get Kennedy in the back of the end zone, but terrific coverage. No room there. 4th and 11. Redmen going to go. You got Castillo and Smith in the backfield.
Don't be surprised if they bring it here. And here
comes the blitz. It's Squirek, and he gets by Castillo. Wenzel shakes him off. He's still coming. And Squirek wraps him up all the way back at the 39. How about that? Just sticking with it is Squirek, and that's why you hear so much about Jake.
And you see Squirek pointing at the 26 jersey of Darren Perez, kind of a tribute to his teammate. But it was Squirek again. 26, you got to watch him. He gets around Castillo. And then how about Squirek? He's down, jumps back up. Castillo's out on his pattern and drops him for a 19-yard loss.
And that's not just big for the sack, but it's that it gives terrific field position for the Invaders as they take over on their 39.
Well, there's two theories there, and I mentioned it. It's 4-down territory. You knew they were coming with the blitz, but early on, you've got to watch for 26. Wherever he is, he's up at the line of scrimmage. Wenzel's got to realize he's got to do something short.
Trying to get outside is Squirek. He just doesn't have a chance. Couple defenders there. Harsany wraps him up. The first one there is Von Benken.
Joe
That
Harsany
is a
makes
loss.
a ton of plays. He really does. From his outside linebacker spot, 55 is just all over the field, makes a ton of plays. You know Jake Squirek's going to get the football.
It's a loss of 3 on the play. And after this play, we'll take a look at the Normandy offense. But this Parma defense, everything really resting on them. They've been very strong against the run, but they haven't faced a running team like Normandy. So it'll be an interesting test. 2nd and 13 back at the 36. Quick give inside and pushing the pile forward. I believe that's Squirek. He's so effective in the quick hitter, and also once he gets outside, I think the people are a little deceived by his speed.
See, the inside trap plays are the plays that they should stick to because they have all that muscle and beef up front. Look at 68 Bobel just kind of blow his guy off the football. So you go side to side, you give a smaller team, a smaller, quicker team, a chance to react sideline to sideline. If you go straight at them, you use that big offensive line who has a height and weight advantage on a smaller defensive front. It's just man against man.
Squirek got out to the 44, where it'll be 3rd and 5 for quarterback Casey Pierce. Pierce gives to Travagalante. Travagalante wrapped up short. Looks like he'll be 2 yards shy of the first down. Take a look at the guys up front, by the way, as we wait to see if they're going to punt. It's Ryan Fitzsimmons, Dave Huey, Mike Samoljenko, Jake Oster, and Alex Babel. Bobby Wypasek, Ryan Rapp, the receivers. Laddie Fiala and Ryan Milligan will kind of rotate at tight end. So you got Pierce, you got Travagalante, Squirick, and you also see Michael Lewis in the backfield quite a bit. But right now, you're going to see Kevin Kuhn come on to punt, and Mike Swartz will go back deep. Tell you what, with a 4th and 2, everyone aware of a fake. It's bobbled. Kuhn still sets it off, going for the sideline. That is a good job. Ball is going to be marked about the 25. So a pretty good punt under tough conditions. 24.
Kuhn did an outstanding job. That was a mistake from the start. Bad snap. He goes down and gets it and does a good job to get it off. Luckily, Parma was not coming. Take another look. Got the snap coming, and this thing's not even close. Dribbled, kept his composure, and got it off. Nice job.
And actually the ball marked now at the 26, where Parma will take over their second possession. 5:19 left, first quarter of the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week. Another big rivalry this week. It's Parma and Normandy. The Redmen had some success moving the ball in their first series, but the drive stalled out. And then, of course, Squire came up with a big 17-yard sack. Give at the middle, trying to find some room. Nothing there. They're trying to establish the run. Smith had a little bit of success early. Of course, the biggest run came on the quarterback keeper.
Well, they really need to establish the run. There's no question about it. Keith Smith has had an outstanding season playing healthy football, and that's a big key for Coach Sear, is to have him healthy in there doing what he's doing, because in order to finish teams, you need to be able to run the football, especially in the fourth quarter, and especially in this series against a team like the Invaders. As you look at the helmets with the 26.
No gain, 2nd and 10. They try to run again. This time it's Swartz trying to get outside. Nothing there. That is absolutely terrific defense. Dave Huey not buying it at all. Every time Swartz is going in motion, he is drawing a crowd.
I think Huey doesn't get a lot of credit for what he did. We had him last week, and boy, he was making plays all over the place. And just look at the push up front that defensive line gets. There's Huey just shredding the gap and gets up and gets a hold of Schwartz. But when you talk about Toposey's supposed to be your best defensive lineman, Boscovich is probably your best overall defenseman along with Squirick. Huey, he seems to be making play after play after play.
You're right, and no one's really talking about him. It's a loss of 1, so from the 25, plenty of time for Wenzel going up top, and wow. Squirick there on the coverage. Sinclair almost makes a terrific catch, but it's incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, Sinclair really got up and nearly made this catch as Wenzel put it up high. Sinclair's a big guy at 6'4", and he got up there with a chance to make the catch, and he really threaded the needle. That was actually a nice pass by Kevin Wenzel, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you put it where only one guy can get it, and Sinclair certainly had a chance.
So on to punt, and yeah, we have an offsides there. So Patrick Eady will probably do this again. Squirick, the returner, waiting, but we're going to try this one more time. It's offsides against Normandy. Still obviously not enough for the first down, but give Eady a little more room to punt.
So a second chance, lose a little field position here, but still, if Squirick has a chance at the return, this is going to be good field position.
Yeah, Squirick is going to wait. Squirick and now Wypasek joins him back around the 35. Plenty of time for the punt, and it's going to be Squirick fielding at his 30. He's got a man in front of him. Nice job, cut outside. Now trying to get the corner. He does, out to the 45, and finally brought out of bounds. They're going to mark him at the 46. Good-looking return by Jake Squirick.
And a good chance for us to talk to you about Rhapsody here in Cox Communications. You love music, you get access to millions of songs.
Wait a minute, you love music?
Yeah, do you love music?
No, that was a hint, but never mind.
Okay,
right.
Do you love music?
I love music.
All right, well, you can get access to millions of songs for the price of one CD with Cox's Rhapsody service. You just go to coxcommunications.com to sign up, or you can call Cox Communications for more information.
1st and 10 from the 47, second possession for the Normandy Invaders. Homecoming night, and Pierce keeps it, gets out just shy of the 50. Good idea, but boy, Parma shut that down pretty quickly. they do mark him out to the 50, gain of 3.
Here's the we talked about this all year long in certain matchups, how big field position kind of turns the tide in football games, and this is what you do defensively is you try to hold them into a situation where you can start to get things going your way. The Invaders have a chance right now. A couple of first downs. Redmen had a big drive to start the game. Right now, the Invaders with a chance to make something happen.
Trying to get Squirick to the outside. Squirick muscling forward, gets close to the first down. He'll be about a yard shy.
Squirick making himself small on that play as he goes over the left
He can't really
side.
make himself that small.
Well, he got to the side. He kind of did the old sideways type of run behind Ryan Fitzsimmons and Jake Oyster. Take another look at this. Watch him go sideways here. Right there. I mean, try and squeeze right in here, fellas. Gets the big push with some help from some of his teammates.
Yeah, even when he's going sideways, he's quite a load, as Jose Castillo found out. This is going to be 3rd and 1. Ball marked on the 45.
Well, tuck your shirt in so nobody can get it.
So here we go, 3rd and 1 from the 45. Travagalante wrapped up immediately, shooting the gap. That's Harsony. No surprise, he's the one coming up with a big play. That was one active linebacker.
Harsony got a great jump on the football. And they'll get the football back on downs. Take another look left side of your screen. 55 just shooting the gap. And a nice job by Joel Turin. He held up his man and allowed Harsony to get through in that gap and make the play.
Kuhn comes on to punt, and Swartz will be back deep. Kuhn's lining up at his 43. Swartz waiting at his 14. Good snap. Kuhn going for the corner again, and let's see where they mark this. Inside the 10. That is a terrific punt. And we'll see where they finally end up marking it at the 7. So the battle of field position after a good opening drive by Parma. Boy, Normandy really looking good, but still scoreless.
Hard to believe there were 67 points scored in this game last year when these two teams met. About a minute 44 left to go here in the first quarter, and not a drop on both sides.
Well, one of the first things that Rob Sear pointed out in his concerns against Normandy, besides the vicious-looking mascot, but the concern is their running game. And he was saying, like last week, they held Brush to just 50 yards rushing, but obviously Normandy's a more powerful team. And he was worried about how his defensive front was really going to hold up against the bigger offensive line for Normandy. And so far, so good, and the Redmen offensive unit back on the field. 1st and 10 from the 7. Kennedy in motion, and the give inside is nothing doing. Absolutely nothing doing, and really not sure who got him. Smith trying to find some room, nothing there.
I think it was Huey.
I guess it went in doubt. Why not go with
Huey's all over the place again. Number 50, middle of your screen, and Smith is met right at the point of attack. Great job by Huey. Huey beat his man, shed the block, and they just get in there and dropped him for a loss.
And check that. Actually, it's Von Benken now that has taken over for Smith, but it is a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Play action, good looking play. Sinclair picks up the first down. Terrific fake to Castillo, froze everyone, and you hit Sinclair over the middle at the 21.
And that's why you commit to the run, to set up plays like that right there. And Sinclair does a nice job. Good pass by Kevin Wenzel. Good timing pass, sets up nice. Beautiful, in stride to get into the secondary.
Wenzel does a good job. So many coaches talk about carrying out the fake. He does a good job of holding the ball down just long enough for everyone to buy that fake on Castillo. So it's 1st and 10 from the 22. Under a minute left, first quarter. The Cox Communications High School football game of the week. Trying Van Benken left side and gets out to the 23. It looked like that play was really going to pop, closed down pretty quickly. Fiala in on the play, along with, of course, Huey.
Going over the left side behind Kevin Doan and Jake Safarski. As you take another look, it did look like he had the gap. But then a good job by Huey to get over there and wrap him up for another tackle.
Pickup at 3 should be the final play of the quarter.
Job for Schwartz.
Yeah, we keep waiting for it, and that's where Wenzel's looking, coming across the middle. Throw behind, intercepted. Wypasek covering Kennedy, and Wypasek jumps the route, comes up with the first big play of the game, the turnover, and Normandy will take over at the 32. So how about that one? We're waiting to see if the quarter has officially ended. The clock on the board is saying it's over, but it gives us a second to take a look at Wypasek cutting in front. The ball's underthrown.
It is thrown behind him. It's kind of tipped as it's thrown behind him, but what a great play by Wypasek. Take another look. Tipped at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't tell who did it, who tipped it at the line of scrimmage, but Wypasek does a great job of coming back to the football.
And that's the way the quarter is going to end. So we'll take a quick break and come back after one at 0-0 more of the Cox Communications High School football game of the week after this.
I'm working on getting into a good college.
Boring.
So I use Cox High-Speed Internet for downloading online tutorials and researching school websites. You know, important stuff that you need a fast connection for.
Since we got Cox High-Speed Internet with Power Boost, my uploads and downloads are even faster, so I win all my games.
Whatever. It is amazingly fast, and Mom says it's the best deal. Call and order Cox High-Speed Internet today.
American families like yours are facing financial decisions like never before. You inherit, change jobs, switch retirement plans. You need to understand how to maximize your choices. We can help. Hi, I'm Steve Clark, President of Clark Financial Services. We offer you a robust, comprehensive money management platform. As independent advisors, we keep your interest first when selecting the right investments for you. Call us today. Thanks.
Second quarter of the Cox Communications High School football game of the week after a short run, actually a 5-yard run by Squirek. It's 2nd and 5. The Invaders, after the interception by Wypasek, the ball was tipped by Ryan Milligan. And now the Invaders in terrific field position, trying to make something happen with the first big turnover of the game. Parma loading up, and yeah, I think we're going to draw the flag jumping into the neutral zone.
And that one's going to go against the Redmen. It should be enough for a first down, or very close to it, depending on where the spot of the ball is.
And that is the case. They signal first down. Let's take a look at that big play first, well, actually the second big play of the night, and there's Wypasek, and there's the ball tipped by Milligan.
It looked like Milligan, yeah. He got it at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by 43, dropping into coverage. Comes up, makes the tip, and Wypasek comes up with a huge interception, but now you got to turn it into points.
That's the thing when you have a team like this, and obviously so much more to play for. But a team like this that is a power football team, you get down in the red zone, and that's where they take over. And here they are on the 23. It's 2nd and 1. There was a preliminary signal, and that's why Squirek picking up, and Squirek still going. Yeah, you can't count him down too early, can you?
No.
He gets down to the 13. Terrific effort by Jake Squirek.
And now they have a first down. They did not give him a first down on the penalty. It was 2nd and very short, and Squirek carrying about 7 guys with him.
Jake Squirek, you know, it's hard to believe he's just a junior, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Seems like we've watched him forever, but take another look, and great blocking up front. Bobel, Huey. Look at him just shedding tackles, and he's just going to keep carrying guys with him. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in that Parma defense had a chance to bring him down.
Ball marked at the 13. This power offense, they go to Squirek, trying to get to the outside, cuts back in, gets inside the 10, call it the 8-yard line.
The one thing you will see in this offense, and Coach Sear talked about it, the commitment to the run by Normandy at all times as you take a look. Travis Galante comes up with a nice block there to get him free on Van Banken. But they will commit to the run no matter what the score is. That's just Normandy's offense. That's the way they set up. But now you get into a situation, you got 2nd down and short. You got to keep an eye out on Casey Pierce. This is a chance where you get that quarterback fake, and he rolls outside and runs in for a score because you're keying on Squirek in that backfield.
Yeah, Squirek left the game to put his shoe back on, and they go to Travis Galante up the middle, and he carries some people and gets close to the first down, still pushing, and may have it. They needed 5. He's awful close.
Mike's not a big guy, and he looked like he was pushing some pile. They list him at 5'8", 153, but that was 153 pounds that was moving forward.
Well, I'll tell you what, a couple more black jerseys jumped in there to help move the pile, too.
Just a quick hit, put the head down, got on Castillo, and then kind of rode it into a first down. So a 1st and goal situation now for the Invaders.
It's where you talk about leverage and talking about, you know, size and weight, and if you hit the right angle, you can move some people. And That's exactly what Travagalante did there when Castillo had him.
Everybody in the stadium knows it's Squirek time right here.
Well, they got his shoe back right.
Everybody
back on,
in the stadium knows it's coming.
First and goal from
Parma.
the 3. 9:15 left, first quarter. Normandy knocking on the door. Squirek left side. Squirek touchdown. You said it, no question. He just follows that big offensive line, and that's the game's first score. 6-0, 3-yard TD by Jake Squirek.
But give a lot of credit to number 9, Mike Travagalante. He's come up with some great blocks on these last couple of carries by Squirek to free him. And again, they ran that same play that Squirek lost his shoe on. Look at 9. Boom. Kicks out the end, and Squirek just goes in basically untouched. There was nobody between him and the first guy that he met was 3 yards deep in the end zone.
Travagalante doesn't get to celebrate. He's got a hold for Kevin Kuhn for the extra point. Snap is good, and so is the hold, and so is the kick. So second quarter action, Normandy scores first. They go up 7-0. We'll come back with Parma's next possession on the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week.
We switched to Cox. Now we're seeing more business than ever. Their high-speed internet lets us handle a large volume of orders online. Plus, their business phone system was easy to set up with the features we needed most. And our customers, they love the Cox HD service. Here you go, guys. Enjoy. It's time your business ordered better communications. Call Cox today.
7-0 Normandy after the 3-yard Jake Squirek touchdown run. Kevin Kuhn on to kick off. Things cooling off a little bit, but boy, skies just beautiful. If you dressed right, it's a beautiful night.
Absolutely. And
if you chose to sport your Cox Communications golf shirt, you might be a little cold. Short kick, and it's going to go out of bounds, get the penalty, and Parma will take over with good field position.
Well, if Rich Turner was wondering about how hard his kids would come out and play, I think they answered the call. They've come up both offensively and defense. Of course, you get the interception, and the defense has dominated here in the first half. They turn it into points. So if Rich Turner was looking for any little bit of momentum and how his kids would respond to the passing of their teammate, they've come out and shown their coach, hey, we're ready to go. We're ready to win this one for Darren as you take a look at Jake Squirek.
Thing is, when you get a strong player like that, we got you, Jake. You get a strong player like that, he can just lift your whole team, the emotional leader, this junior, and he does so much, and you can see him just taking the lead on both sides of the ball, not in on defense right now. I'm sure he'll be in there probably in a play or so. So the Redmen, of course, open up in the spread again. They've moved the ball. Actually, the last couple drives stall a little bit. Swartz in motion. Wenzel trying to make something happen. They go to the quarterback draw. Worked earlier. Gets outside. Gets out to the 40. Crosses it. And close to a first down. Looks like about a 8-yard gain. Depends. Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 44. So it's an 8-yard gain for Wenzel. And maybe they use that quarterback draw to open some other things up.
Nice job by Kevin Wenzel. He waits, gets a chance for his blocks to develop. And then look at the hole. Great job of the right side of that offensive line before he runs into who else? Dave Huey.
2nd and 2 from the 43. Boy, an offensive coordinator, you can do a lot of things here. Rob Sear really wanting to sustain some drives. He's trying to set up the screen, come back the other way to Swartz. He's got the first down and more. Loses the ball, or does he? Boy, it looked like the ball came out. I guess I jumped the gun. Yeah, and I think, who was it that scoops it up? He lost the, well, no, Swartz did hang on.
Somebody tried to rip it out, and he held on to it and turned it into extra
It looked
yardage.
like it was coming out. Take another look at this.
That's Milligan right there. It did come out
Wow,
right
how
into the
about that?
hands of Matt Burns.
It's always good to have your center or guard going downfield to make sure he follows you, huh?
Look at Matt Burns. First reception, I bet you, of his high school career.
I don't know if he gets credit for a reception, though. It depends. It could be a fumble recovered. It depends on the steps that Swartz had.
That's true.
So I hate to take it away from you, Matt. It was a good effort, but tough break, kid. First down. Trying to find some room and nothing doing. They are really, anything wide is really being turned in. Boscovich there denying Von Benken.
I think you got to go back to that quarterback draw, play action fake. Take a look at the defense of the Invaders. Just blowing off the line of scrimmage. And there's Boscovich shedding his block and getting into the backfield.
Yeah, and when you're running wide, you just have to sustain your blocks a little bit longer, and that's tough to do with a player like Boscovich.
Again, the coach has said many times that's his best defensive player on the field is 16.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Wenzel looking deep, had a couple receivers in the same area. Now trying to break free and completes. Is that Sinclair? And see that or Matt Corwell? No, it's the tight end, Tyler Sinclair. Terrific job of Sinclair helping out his quarterback. Initially, he was covered.
Not only that, but a great throw on the run from Kevin Wenzel. The senior sets up. He checked off on a couple of different guys. That's not open. And then as he comes over, Sinclair comes back to help him out. But look at that. That is right on the money.
Terrific play on both ends. And, of course, it starts up front with plenty of time for your quarterback. Down to the 26, 1st and 10. 7-10 left, first half. Redmen trying to get in and get on the board. Von Benken, the lone back. They fake and keep to Wenzel. Wenzel crosses the 15, picks up the first down and more. Quarterback draws the best play they've got going right now. They're going to run it until Normandy adjusts.
Well, the key is it's Brian Schwartz that really makes that play happen because the Invaders have done so well to keep Schwartz out of the offense that he draws the defense that way. You can see him come in off the fake, and then it's all Kevin Wenzel taking off after that. That play has been open and has worked all night long.
Rob Sears going to run it until Rich Turner finds a way to stop it. It's 1st and 10 from the 13. Little play action fake, give it to Schwartz, and nothing doing. They cannot get him free. Play defended well. I think it's White Pasick that came up. Actually, Travagalante comes up. A couple other guys, I think Boscovich as well.
For as many times as he touches the football in a game, Brian Schwartz has really been shut down tonight. The Invaders have done a great job taking him out of that Parma offense early in this football game. Wherever he goes, there's somebody shadowing him no matter where it is.
2nd and 8. Rob Sears' concern was scoring once you get in the red zone. They came up empty the first time. Wenzel keeping it, and this time the quarterback draw, nobody fooled. You know, eventually teams are going to catch on. Bobel down at the bottom of the pile of that one, and he had a lot of help.
Yeah, big fella did a good job, and when 336 pounds is hanging onto your shirt, it'll slow you down a little bit.
Rob Sears certainly made a point to talk about problems in the red zone, and things just tighten up, and boy, Normandy not buying it.
Not at all.
So it's 3rd and 10 from the 13. So the thing is, when you run a wide open offense, critics of the wide open offense say this is where you have problems.
Smallest part of the field.
No more room. Wenzel, quick hitter, Sinclair, terrific catch down to the goal line. How about that one? That is a great catch by the tight end. Slanting across, and again, a really good throw. You throw it where no one else can get it.
It was all the play action fake. Watch Wenzel. Fakes it, sets, and there's Sinclair. Great catch by Tyler Sinclair. How many plays has that combination made tonight in this drive alone? Take another look. All set up by the play action, patient, slant route, and he's got Huey beat, and it's 1st and goal, Parma.
1st and goal from the 1. 5-minute mark, first half. Terrific game so far. Wenzel keeping it himself, and there's the signal. A 1-yard touchdown run, and they're an extra point away from tying things up.
Nice drive by Parma to come back after turning the ball over and giving Normandy the early lead. But again, this series between these two teams is so close. As you kind of look at the push up front, Wenzel, big guy, and he's in. I mean, they were on the 1-inch line, and all he had to do was get himself falling forward for the touchdown.
On for the extra point, Sandy Finley. Kick is up. And kick is good. 7-7. We're going to take a break and come back with, wow, more of an absolutely terrific game. There's the Kevin Wenzel touchdown run. 4:57 left first half. We're back with more on the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week after this.
I got Cox Digital Cable, so that when me and the guys get together for Dudes TV night, we get the best quality programming. With features like on-demand and high definition, we get this great picture and lots to choose from. Even chick flicks.
Oh, Tony, will this be our last sunset together?
Hey, this is good stuff. So call and order Cox Digital Cable today.
Order Cox Digital Cable with On Demand now. Plus, HD service is free. Call 216-535-1141 or go to coxcleveland.com to order now.
You can't chip your own paint off. What's he doing? Or is he applying more during the game? That is dedication.
Yeah, he is. You better be careful of the
I
people
know.
around him. They might end up being white at the end of the game.
Missed a spot.
He's got an orange face, though. I don't understand that part.
You can't get under the arms?
I don't think you want to get under the arms. I don't think that's healthy.
Oh, yeah. The rest of it is. Good call, Mike.
I don't think the.
At least we have an absolutely terrific game going, and we're criticizing the painted guys. You won't get that from every announcing team.
No.
There's something special about the
Only
Cox
the A team.
communication. That's right. The C team comes through. Kick going towards the sideline and out of bounds. We're seeing a lot of that one, so Normandy will get great field position as they have just under 5 minutes to work with. Get this offensive unit back on the field that has looked good so far. You know, through all the action, we never had a chance to run through the Parma defensive unit. So we'll tell you what we got up front. Tyler Sinclair, Kevin Doan, Joel Tureen, and Kevin Skro. Kevin Skro really having a big year.
Quiet tonight.
Yeah, having a big year, though. Harsony, we called his name quite a bit, a linebacker. Kyle Katsakis and Jose Castillo. The safeties, Brian Swartz, Mike Von Benken, and Chuck Kennedy, defensive back. Along with Nico Finari. Sorry, lost Nico there for a second.
Number 81.
Thank you. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 35. Yeah, now you help me.
I didn't know
I
what
was
you were
blatantly
looking for.
stalling, and you're just like, let him hang. Squire going up the middle. Squire picks up about 3.
No surprise there. Just pound away at the football. Use that big offensive line to keep kind of pushing things forward.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. Ball marked on the 38. Plenty of time. Both teams with all their timeouts. Beautiful night. And a rivalry. Boy, last year this game was a shootout. This year it's a terrific game, just a totally different style. Redmen stuffed the box. They said they would, and Pierce keeping it. Pierce gets across the 40. Ball comes out, and it is, well, it looked like Parma recovered, and there's the signal. The bottom of it, Tyler Sinclair comes up with a fumble. Not sure who knocked it out. We'll see if we can get a look at it, but big, big play for the Redmen.
What a night Tyler Sinclair is having offensively and defensively. Taking a look, they got Casey Pierce when he was trying to transfer the ball. So he was transferring it here from one hand to another, and it looks like it was ripped out by Sinclair, and then he came back in.
Actually, I think it's Finari that ripped it out.
We can see it from this angle here.
Yeah, Nico Finari. Now we know who he is. Oh, actually, no, not Nico. Excuse me.
The Skro in
Kevin
there?
Skro.
That's
Yeah.
what we just mentioned. He's
He
been
had a
quiet
forced
tonight.
fumble last week and does it again here. Wenzel keeping it. Wenzel maybe gets a yard. Maybe.
So each team with a turnover in this football game. And give you a chance while we have a moment to tell you about Cox Tech Solutions. Because if you need computer help, and I know you do, Bill,
I
call
do.
the Techsperts at Cox Tech Solutions, 1-877-TECH-SOLVE. That's 1-877-832-7658. We'll fix it, or it's free.
And you might as well just set up shop at my place. Plenty
it'll
of
be
work
free.
to do.
It'll be free if they can't fix it.
I got some cookies. I'll share. 2nd and 10. Wenzel. Plenty of time going deep. He has Kennedy. Kennedy catches it in coverage. Boy, Lewis right there, but Kennedy does a great job using his body to make the catch and get the first down.
Great job using his body to shield, but Lewis also hit him a little bit early. Luckily, he got away with one. Wenzel has looked strong in the pocket tonight, waiting for this route to develop. And a great catch by Kennedy. And Lewis there on the stop.
You mentioned it. He looks incredibly poised, and his throws have been, even the incompletions, most of them have been where only his guy can get them. The interception was a tipped ball. But it's 1st and 10 from the 22. Trying Smith inside. Smith to get some room, muscles ahead. Looks like a pickup of 5, and that's what you do. You do these other things, and finally maybe the inside opens up a little bit more.
And the key is you're just playing keep away. You got a great drive going. You got under 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. And you want the half to end with the football in your hands and hopefully in the end zone take it into the locker room. Just take a look at Kevin Smith. a healthy guy this year. He played one healthy game all last year, but the Redmen are happy to have him back because him and Von Benken have been a great tandem back there in the backfield.
It's actually a pickup of 4, so 2nd and 6. And they're going to try it again. Smith trying to get to the outside. This play strung out again. Yeah, Boscovich gets him, and again, it takes a little bit of time to develop, and against this defense, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's tough to go east and west against this defense. You've really got to go straight ahead, and you're looking at an undersized offensive line. And the quarterback, Casey Pierce, comes up and makes the tackle, but they get to the ball fast. Those linebackers get to the ball fast. This time you have the cornerback shooting the gaps and making the stop.
2 minutes left, and remember, the Redmen have all of their timeouts. A little bit of a different look. Smith, kind of semi-split. Wenzel, well, you kind of expect that quarterback draw, but he's looking over the middle, and it's almost picked off. Squirek read that play, jumped the route, and he was heading the other way.
Squirek was thinking, I'm down at the other end dancing in the end zone. Number 26 knew that he had something right there. And again, it was Wenzel kind of waiting for everything to develop.
Showing good poise, but
plenty
Swartz
of time.
Was covered, though.
Squirek had it in his hands.
Even if Squirek's not there, Boscovich is there, and there was another player coming up behind, it would have had to have been an absolutely perfect throw. I was trying for the field goal. Kick is up, and it's going to be short. And so the drive that started well ends. And Normandy will take over on their 17. 1:41 left.
So the Invaders will get the football back. And they're going to, this is one of the things you're thinking, well, there's a minute 41 left. They're going to start throwing the football. You haven't watched a lot of Normandy football if you think they're going to start tossing the football down the field. Casey Pierce and the guys are going to ride as you take a look at the...
the red paint stays on much better than the white.
It depends.
Oh, no.
Well, he's picking away, yeah. Problems.
You can't pick at it, guys. It's like poison ivy.
Once you're cold, it's cold. It doesn't matter what you are. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the cold.
I think they'd make a better paint. 1st and 10. Pierce going up top, trying to get Wypasic, and good coverage there. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
Good job in the secondary.
Yeah, that's Swartz coming over.
You
think
Schwartz.
It's the cold?
I think it is the cold.
It's not that horribly cold. I mean, it is for us.
Well, you think of the paint situation.
Shouldn't paint hold up?
Depends on what kind of paint he uses. If it's indoor paint, what's he doing with it outdoors? If it's spray paint.
They got to do some research. Well, because there are different kinds. I mean, they still have the Rust-Oleum, the Krylon, and which paint really holds up better? Because it's like 40-something, 50 degrees.
He needed to have a glaze to kind of keep it all in. He needed to glaze himself after he did that.
Maybe some primer.
But that might be nice, yeah.
2nd down, they try Squirek outside. Squirek cuts inside, finds some room, gets to the 30, and still rolling out to cross the 35, called the 37. And you expect Rich Turner to take a timeout here. They have to move the chains, but 1:29 left. Good run by Jake Squirek, and he's grabbing his knee. Or that's his foot. Lost a shoe.
Lost a shoe again. Who needs to throw the football?
I don't know, but this is not looking good. Hopefully it's just a cramp, but he's walking better. Boy, at first it really looked bad.
Kind of twisted a little bit. Take another look. Squirek. Lewis with the block there.
Yeah, Harsony chased him down. Squirek is so good at that, where it looks like things are stopped, and he just waits for the hole, and then he bursts through and turns it into a good game. Gets out to the 37.
And you know what? The key, how about a good job by Squirek, too, to get off the field, because the team would have been charged a timeout. So he comes off the field. The officials let him come off, knowing that the clock was stopped for the 1st down, and started again.
And Rich Turner holds on to his timeouts. We've got a minute 13 left, 1st half. Try inside, Lewis. Lewis, nothing much doing. Interesting call there, and now you're going to have to use a timeout.
Well,
pickup of 2.
Clock still running, and
coach
is out on the field. There we go.
Well, it took a while to get that timeout and lost a few more seconds, and there you see the situation, 55 left.
Well, as Vince Lombardi said, they don't carry over to the 2nd half, so you might as well use them.
Vince said that?
Vince did. I happened to be there. I was on the coaching staff.
Yeah. With that Redskins tenure, after he had all the success and went to Washington, Mike Cairns hops on the bandwagon. Good call, buddy.
I was back in the Lambeau days.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so good with this cold weather.
And I don't think that ice ball affected you at all.
Not at all. We still talk about that when me and the guys get together, me and Bart and the guys.
Why didn't you guys share your paint secrets there?
I don't know. I didn't have a chance to. I really didn't have a chance to talk to the student section tonight.
You do nothing before the game. Why don't you go down there and share some of your wisdom from the ice ball?
Well, the first thing I would have said to him is, "Don't paint yourself." That's just me. Although there are a lot.
You are really plugged into today's youth, aren't you?
I really am. I mean, I have 3 kids of my own. I mean, I had to learn something from them.
There's some good news. Squire, of course, back on the field. 2nd and 7, 55 seconds left. Pierce, they try a quick out to wide Pasick and overthrow him. Bring up a 3rd and 7 now.
Well, you got to be careful there. They had Wypasick. Not a throwing team. You could see right there Casey Pierce was well over the head. Pierce is just a junior, but he had.
Yeah, that ball just didn't look right
wide
coming
open.
out of his hands. I think it's a good idea. Get the ball out wide to one of your playmakers and let him go downfield and try and get out of bounds. And actually, you don't even have to get out of bounds because you have 2 timeouts. But tell you what, you got to pick up the 1st down.
Well, that's the problem with that defense, too. If you get Harsanyi too far outside, he's outside, and that slant route was a perfect call had Wypasick been able to haul in that pass.
Not showing blitz. See if any Redmen come up to the line, and there's you're getting 1. And Pierce trying to get outside. Pierce keeping it, turned inside, and doesn't pick up the 1st down, I don't believe. No, it looks like he, well, tell you what, let's see where they spot this. Now, it looks like he's going to be a yard short. Clock's still running.
There's no loop tonight. There was no loop there. How about Casey Pierce getting out there? Come on, it's got a round scroll.
Yeah, Rich Turner lets the clock keep running.
And I got to take another timeout, or they're going to let the clock
it's
run
4th
down?
down, so you might as well let it down. Tell you what, I'm kind of surprised the Redmen aren't taking a timeout here. I think maybe that's with the 4th down, it'd be an interesting call. You decide to go for it. Maybe they'll let the clock run down and go for it. Tell you what, it's been an entertaining first half, only 7-7, but wow, this is a good one we're enjoying tonight.
Let it rip.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things. And I actually, it's not a bad idea. Actually, we're listening in on the Parma coaches, but they're saying, well, they are going to let it run out.
Let's
I think it maybe take a timeout and take a Hail Mary, but instead we're going to go to the half, tied at 7. Pretty interesting matchup tonight. Anyway, we're coming back with halftime festivities. You're enjoying the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week.
American families like yours are facing financial decisions like never before. You inherit, change jobs, switch retirement plans. You need to understand how to maximize your choices. We can help. Hi, I'm Steve Clark, President of Clark Financial Services. We offer you a robust, comprehensive money management platform. As independent advisors, we keep your interest first in selecting the right investments for you. Call us today. Thanks.
Cox Digital Cable brings you more movies on demand, more action, more laughs, more thrills, and more fun for the whole family. Just go to the Classic Movies category to choose from hundreds of movies you can order and control with the touch of your remote. More movies on demand from Cox Digital Cable. Go beyond TV with Cox, your friend in the digital age.
Halftime of the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week. It's Parma and Normandy. Homecoming for Normandy, 7-7 tied. Terrific game and a terrific time to check in on the Parma marching Redmen. Enjoy. The Parma marching Redmen. We're back with the Normandy marching Invaders after this.
Another insider tip from Cox. Free Zone. Did you know On Demand has thousands of programs you can watch for free anytime you want? It's called Free Zone, and it's loaded with music, sports, and kids programs, plus exclusive content you just can't find anywhere else. It's all free when you subscribe to Cox Digital Cable, and since it's on demand, you can watch it all whenever you want. Go to Channel 1 and start exploring the Free Zone in On Demand today.
Halftime of the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week, homecoming, and a good time to check in on the Normandy marching Invaders.
You get a big zoom lens? Yeah. Ask Rudowski if you saw the chicken suit guy. Did you see the chicken suit guy? There we go. Taking him away in handcuffs. Open mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a little bit more time than we thought, so we're going to feature the dancers with that world-famous kick line.
The Normandy marching Invaders Wrapping up halftime. We're back with third quarter action on the Cox Communications High School football game after this.
American families like yours are facing financial decisions like never before. You inherit, change jobs, switch retirement plans. You need to understand how to maximize your choices. We can help. Hi, I'm Steve Clark, President of Clark Financial Services. We offer you a robust, comprehensive money management platform. As independent advisors, we keep your interest first in selecting the right investments for you. Call us today. Thanks.
One satellite company claims they've got more HD, but to watch all of it, you'll need an even bigger, even uglier dish than before. Plus, you'll need to make sure nothing interferes with the signal, like buildings, trees, rain, even wind. And get this, it'll cost over $1,000 a year in extra subscription fees to actually get all the HD they offer. So choose Cox for high def. With free HD programming, no ugly dish, and no hassles, the clearest choice for HD is Cox.
Getting set for the third quarter of the Cox Communications High School football game of the week. Pretty interesting first half, 7-7 tie, and Brian Swartz is going to kick off to get things going for this third quarter. Back neat for Normandy, Wypasek, Squirick, Travagalante, and it's going to be, well, downed. It's Travagalante coming up, or excuse me, check that. Actually, it was Shane Zatura that came up and had a little problem with it, and we're going to take over. Normandy will take over at their 18. So Normandy offense, pretty interesting first quarter for them. I mean, they went back with that power football and only have 7 points to show for it.
Well, both teams taking advantage of turnovers in that first half. An interception by Wypasek, a fumble that Parma recovered. And that's been the difference in this football game. Both teams have cashed in, 7-7.
So Casey Pierce takes over at his 18, first and 10. They go inside, and not much there. Travagalante trying to get through. Kevin Doan on top of him immediately.
Right back to running the football, everything you would expect from the Invaders. The first half flying by, even with as much as Parma likes to throw the football. When you're completing passes and you're running things, there's a look at Mr. Norman, Nick Jereb. Mr. Norman tonight, congratulations to him. 2008.
It looks a little different without the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got it down there.
2nd and 8, and trying Squirick left side again. Things strung out, and Squirick still gets the corner. Net picks up a block, and there's a flag on the play. Gets out to the 29, but I think we're going to get a hold out in front. I think Ryan Rapp was trying to block in front. He may have drawn the flag.
Rapp was the last one to get up in that area of the flag. It's going back. Take another look right here, left side of your screen. Pitch play. This thing has worked very, very well. There's the hold right there. It's Boscovich for the Invaders.
Yeah, actually not Rapp. He was further up top of the screen. Tell you what, though, Travagalante is doing a good job as a lead blocker. It's kind of the reverse of what you'd expect when you look at this team. You'd think, he'd be following Squirick, but tell you what, the kid can block.
Good point. He's 150 pounds, and he has opened some holes tonight for Jake Squirick.
So after the mark-off, it's 2nd and 14 now. Ball back on the 14. Third quarter action just started this thing, 11-minute mark. Parma tied with Normandy. They try Squirick to the outside again, gets across the 20 and knocked out of bounds, call it the 24. Actually carries near the 25. He just keeps going. You think he's going out of bounds, and he ekes out a couple more yards. Strong run. And it'll be a 3rd and 3.
Same play, just minus the holding. Here's a look at Coach Sear, whose team has played very, very well in this first half. We talked about what this game means for both sides. Both of these teams realize if they run the table, they'll most likely be in the playoffs this year. So this is a huge game, and it comes at a time where you got two teams that know each other very, very well.
3rd and 3, it's Rapp split very wide, but you expect things to go in the middle. And no, Pierce going to try and get outside. He finds an opening, picks up the first down, and dives out to the 33.
Boscovich got out there.
Up.
16 throws a nice block for him. Boscovich gets out, and you know what? Casey Pierce we talked about how well Wenzel runs with the football. I think Pierce has done equally as well tonight. That's a 6'4" kid, just a junior. But I think he's run very well with the football tonight, made some very good decisions.
Certainly did on that one. Again, kind of looking like Squirick in that he's waiting for things to develop. It looks like he's strung out, and he just waits for a little bit of a hole, shoots through, picks up the first down, the 33, 1st and 10. I still haven't gotten used to the way that Normandy's backs are right up there behind the quarterback. Squirick certainly comfortable with it. He's, well, stood up and finally got out to the 37. And that's where progress was stopped, almost the 38.
Kazakis in there on the stop, middle linebacker, number 57. Squirick, but the big key, the reason why they're up there, as you mentioned, in that formation, you pack the box. Normandy is a running team, and if they could ever establish some kind of play action, wow, that secondary would be wide open. But again, when you know that 85% of your offense, maybe even 90 in this case, is a 3-back running attack.
Well, they call it gain of 5, so that's where we are, 2nd and 5 from the 38. Problem with the snap, and Pierce, still out, and Kennedy recovers. It looked like Pierce had it secured, and there's another big play. Kennedy takes over.
Wow. They're going to have to take another look at that one. That's going to have to be one of those great slowdowns that our crew gives you every week. It seems like we have one of these every single week. Fumbled it right from the beginning.
And here it looks like he's going to recover it.
Pierce has it.
And you would think he's down. He must never have control on top of that play. Yeah, Kazakis is on top of him. And
Kazakis, pushes it out. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what they're arguing. That's what Squirick's saying is he's arguing that Pierce had control of it with Kazakis on top of him. Refs don't see it that way. And another big play for Parma. They take over at the 33.
I think we could take another look at that one. I think you'll find out he did not have control.
Keith Smith held up. Well, I don't know. It looked like shoulder pad, though.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
that head snapped around.
We're just loading up on plays that we need to see.
Well, that was a key. I mean, if you looked at back at Casey Pierce was scrambling for the football, he never put it away, and Kazakis does a great job. Take another look. Does he put this football away?
I don't know if you can see from this angle.
Well, he'll start to put it away here. You'll see Kazakis get over the top. See, that comes out pretty late. I think he's down.
I think that Normandy certainly has a good argument there. Regardless,
you can almost count 1,000, 2,000. Ball is out.
I'd go 1 Mississippi if I'm you. So loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Okay, 1,000, fine. And this time we get another flag out. It's going to be an offsides call. We're certainly not opening this third quarter very crisp, are we?
No, that'll be a movement on the offensive line. That's going to go against Parma. They're going to back them up. So this one kind of going backwards. And this is a far cry from last year's game. They were scoring in bunches last year. 67 points, as we mentioned at the beginning of this. We've got 14 through 2 quarters, and now 8.5 left to go here in the third.
Well, there's still time.
You would think, but the way these offenses have played tonight, it's been a defensive grudge match right here.
2nd and 16 now. Ball marked back at the 39. Wenzel has time, now starting to collapse. Flush out of the pocket, still looking downfield, and just throws it away. Had Kennedy and Swartz on the same side and just floated it over Swartz to get rid of it, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
Wenzel has had a lot of time to throw the football tonight, and again, just looking downfield for Smith and didn't see anybody open, makes the wise decision once he got outside of the tackles just to get rid of the football.
The Normandy defense coming up big after the turnover, was deep in their own territory. Now Wenzel facing a 3rd and 16. Figure if they pick up a good chunk of it, they'd go on 4th down. But here comes the pressure. Wenzel trying to shake Milligan. Ball comes loose. Huey, the closest man there. Huey can't recover, and ball goes out of bounds.
That is a massive sack. I mean, good news is you didn't give up the football. Bad news, that is a long, long loss on the play. And I don't know if Wenzel lost that in the transfer because Huey gets him on the jersey. Wenzel sets up, looks strong here on the setup.
Well, Milligan's the first one in.
I think he just slips out of his hand. That's exactly what happened. Watch Huey trying to get down the battle. Smith gives him a little push in the back. It's a freeze-for-all from that point. And if Keith Smith doesn't come up and hit Huey, that might be Invader ball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Smith makes a good play. 4th and 35.
What do you do here?
I'm not sure.
High percentage guy.
Screen pass?
Middle screen?
There you go. So while Pasek and Squirick are waiting deep, and Patrick Eady is on to punt. He's waiting back at his 28. 8:06. Eady's boot, line drive. Squirick's going to field it. No, lets it bounce, and it takes a Parma bounce rolling inside the 10. And finally, Matt Corrigal is going to down it about the 4.
That's a great kick right there. And again, Squirick making the decision to let it go, and they're going to pay the price. Speaking of paying the price.
Or paying a very small price.
Let's talk about the digital video recorder, because it is that season. We're going to start seeing, as you have high school football games on demand, but you also have college football games as well. And with a DVR service from Cox, you can record entire seasons of your favorite shows, sports events, all in high definition. And, of course, it's available through Cox Communications. Call 216-535-3500. Or, as the singers are telling you, go to www.coxcleveland.com.
Well, I think that is the first time we've released the Monkey Aaron Singers.
Well, you know, I'll just...
Maybe the last, but I think it was a nice touch.
We'll play requests.
First down from the 3. Parma, stuff in the box. Squirick gets this call. Squirick wrapped up. He'll lose 2. I think the first one in there, it could have been Scro. Joe Harsany in there. That is very well played.
You knew it was coming, just packing the box. Nice job.
Actually, it's Kevin Doan is the first one there.
Doan in there and wrapped up Squirick. This is where I talked about to start the third quarter, where if they had some kind of play-action play in here, this would be money if they could get somebody on single coverage and just let Casey Pierce fake it to Squirick and just go down, go deep.
Yeah, it is a loss of 1. So it is 2nd and 11 from the 2. They try Squirick left side. Squirick has a blocker in front. Sinclair comes up and hits him and then gets some help. And maybe gets to the 4. Now they're going to mark it at the 5. Very well defended. Sinclair the first one there.
Lewis was the lead blocker, but maybe you got to get Travis Galante back there. When they run that play and number 9's in there as your lead blocker, they've got some big gains.
Tell you what, now they're in a little bit of a bind. 3rd and 8, backed up on their 5-yard line.
They're bringing it. You've got to go for it. I mean, you've got to bring it. Because right now there is no room for your punter. He's going to be backed up on that end zone. And we've seen some of the snaps that have happened tonight. That's a safety waiting to happen. Here they come.
Squirick, and it looks like Lewis back with him in the backfield. And everybody bunch up front. See if Kasatka's showing blitz, and they try Squirick left side again. Squirick gets some room. Squirick picks up the first down and a little bit more. That is a big run. He gets out across the 20. Wow. 3rd and 8, and Squirick carries him out.
I don't think you realize how big this is. I don't think you realize how big a run this is. Squirick behind Lewis. Just keeps those legs churning, puts the shoulder down before Doan comes up and wraps him up. But that is a huge,
what do you
gain.
say? You notice at the end of that, what did we say about every great back? They're always falling forward, and he does it again and gets it out for a 16-yard gain. That is huge. 1st and 10 from the 21. A little bit of room here for Casey Pierce. And they try something different, and no success. Trying to go to the right side and shooting the gap right away. Was that Harsany again?
Harsany or Doan.
It's a good bet, huh?
It is Harsany.
Yeah, it is Harsany. And it went in doubt. That's usually a good guess. And he is having a terrific game.
He really is. Leads the team in tackles again this year. Look at him, just split the gap. And Lewis doesn't have a chance.
Well, they've been running running left so much, you figure they got to go right at some point, but that's 2 or 3 times we see Harsany just shoot the gap and time it out perfectly tonight.
Well, Billy, this is the problem with the running football team. You can load the box and take chances on blitz and then force them to cover their gap assignments. And they're not going to beat you deep, and now they finally go to a 2 wide receiver set.
In trouble is Pierce, and he is wrapped up. That's Joel Tureen. We haven't heard his name much tonight. Comes up with a big play there with a sack.
And all Tureen does is stay at home. Again, they split their wide receivers out, and they've been successful with Casey Pierce. Fakes it to Squirick, but there's Scrow also holding up his man at the line of scrimmage, and that allows Tureen to get in and make the play.
You know, speaking of Scrow, he has 6 sacks on the season, forced fumble. Actually had another one tonight, a fumble recovery last week. He's a player that Rob Sear pointed out immediately, said, you know who's really come on and no one's been talking about is Kevin Scrow. 3rd and 13 now, ball on the 18. Normandy had the big play before. Now Pierce looking for some help, dumps it out to Travagalante, and they were giving him the short stuff. Kennedy comes up, makes the tackle. Actually, excuse me, that's Swartz, and it's going to be short of the first down, and so Normandy will be punting.
And they'll give them this all day long. It's just a little circle route for about 5-6 yards. Travagalante makes the catch, but good field position coming up for the Redmen.
Swartz is going to go back deep, and he will be probably stopping about his 40, waiting for Kevin Kuhn's punt.
He's giving him a lot of room.
Will be punting from the 15. He's been directional all night. He goes the opposite way from Swartz, and Swartz, well, he's going to field it at his 30. Cuts up, finds a little hole, gets out to the 38-yard line.
I thought that was kind of weird the way that Schwartz lined up.
I thought it was very weird
all the way to the near sideline.
It's like you're playing a guessing game, going which direction is Kevin Kuhn going to punt. Rob Sear, well, they kind of gave up some yards there, but he's got to be excited about the way his team's played so far.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things he's always wanted to do is establish the run. I think they've done that tonight, but you got to give a lot of credit to Kevin Wenzel. I think he's played
that's the big
an outstanding game tonight.
The big thing with their run is it's come from the quarterback position. Interesting, they have Kasatkis in there, the middle linebacker, in as their lead blocker right now, I believe, with Von Benken. As they take over, 1st and 10 from the 38, 3-receiver set. Wenzel keeps it after the play action.
Oh.
Wow. Takes a hit from Casey Pierce.
That's your quarterback throwing that down. Oh, man.
And we'll call it a 2-yard gain, but check out this hit by the other quarterback.
Quarterback meet quarterback in 2-1. Huey's on the bottom of that pile, and Boscovich is over the top.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
It's the beauty of high school football.
The quarterbacks can take shots at quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing,
It
Mike.
really is. Well, you were a quarterback in high school, so if you had a chance to take a shot, especially after you turn the ball over or something, you know you're going out on defense, you can make a play. It's a nice feeling.
2:40 left. Wenzel looking up top, going for Kennedy's got him at the 40. Kennedy, it's a foot race now. Kennedy clears, and he is going all the way. A 60-yard touchdown connection, Wenzel to Kennedy, and Parma takes their first lead of the night.
What a play that was, and how about Kennedy coming back to make the catch and finish off the 60-yard touchdown. And Kevin Wenzel strong once again and having a big game tonight, but that was Chuck Kennedy stopping on the play. Take a look at this. Right side of your screen, Wenzel all sorts of time, but Kennedy going to come back to the football, turn on his man Bobby Wypasek, and he's taking it to the house.
On for the extra point, Sandy Finley. Sandy's kick is up, and it is good, and it is 14-7 Parma. 2:26 left, third quarter, and we've got plenty more to go. It's 14-7. Back with more on the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week. A 60-yard touchdown connection, Wenzel to Kennedy.
American families like yours are facing financial decisions like never before. You inherit, change jobs, switch retirement plans. You need to understand how to maximize your choices. We can help. Hi, I'm Steve Clark, President of Clark Financial Services. We offer you a robust, comprehensive money management platform. As independent advisors, we keep your interest first in selecting the right investments for you. Call us today. Thanks.
Of course, Darren Perez on the mind of so many on both teams tonight, and that a big play for Parma. Really underdogs in this game, even though they come in with a better record. And, you know, this barometer for this team, there's the kickoff from Swartz, and obviously so far, Redmen looking strong. A little bit of a problem handling the kick, and then, hanging on to it. And that just didn't look right. David Jacobs, the ball almost came out again, but he does get back out to the 20 where Normandy will take over after falling behind 14-7.
There's a look at the many signs. Perez in our prayers. Doing it for DP. And you talk about what Parma needed to do to come in this game. They came in on a 3-game winning streak, but this particular series they haven't won since 04. So there's seniors and some juniors on this squad for the Redmen that have never beaten the Invaders. Don't think they're not thinking about that as they come in to Normandy's homecoming night to try and steal what could be a huge win to help them in the playoff chase.
So Pierce, 80 yards to go to tie this game. They flip it out to Squirick, left side, gets a good lead block and kind of slips up. It's a gain of, 3 or 4. We'll see where they spot it. That play has just been so successful, they keep going to it.
Take another look. Again, it's Squirick. There's Travis Galante, just another massive. When they go back and look at the film tomorrow or this weekend, number 9 is going to be graded very high. He has made some great lead blocks.
Getting all 160 pounds or
Wow.
whatever they list him as.
You wouldn't know
out
it.
in front. It's a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. And everyone bunched inside. Again, Squirick trying to go left side. Not that time. First hit by Sinclair, then spins into Tureen and Castillo and Scrow and a lot of other white jerseys.
Sinclair came in on the backside. Lewis was the lead blocker, but he just kind of got behind Lewis to make the play. Again, you talk about both of these teams. We talk about the implications playoff-wise for both of these squads. And I think even if Normandy wasn't able to come away with a win tonight, they dropped to 3 and 4, I think they still have a shot at getting to the playoffs because Division II Region 5 this year is kind of a weak region. If you think it getting to that 8 spot, they're real close. They're winning a couple of big wins. And you got Twinsburg in a couple of weeks. There are points still out there.
So from the 25, 3rd and 5, Pierce, kind of a hook and go and overthrows, trying to get Lewis. I'm not sure if Kazakis got a hand on it or not. He was in the middle, and maybe he tipped that thing, but it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Invaders not a throwing football team. This plays perfectly into the hands of Parma.
Yeah, C57 gets a hand on this, though. Yeah, there it is.
They got it at the end. Tipped it away.
Lewis is open, well-thrown ball, but when it's that hard, if it gets a tip, it could certainly change things, and we're going to get a 4th and 5, and so Kuhn is on to punt, and Swartz, see if he plays the guessing game on what field again, see if he adjusts. He is lined up kind of towards the, and now he's more going towards the
middle.
center at his 40. I know it's off your screen, but Mike and I are fascinated by it, and Kuhn is going to punt, and he shanks it. You know, that's the thing so many times, it's going to be marked, wow, at the Normandy 46. So many times when you're trying to directional kick and you're forcing things, that's when there can be errors. And the guessing game this time works in Parma's favor as the Redmen take over with terrific field position.
Well, you notice, Billy, I know why Schwartz now lines up one way or the other, because if you notice when Kuhn kicks, he turns his body completely to the side, and that's kind of unusual for a punter. Normally you're a straight-on kicker trying to kick it one side of your foot or the other, but he gives it away. So Schwartz feels he's fast enough to make the adjustment to get to one side of the field or the other to try and field the punt.
1st and 10 from the 46. Wenzel takes over. Katsakis still in as the fullback. And they try Smith, and not much room there. He's wrapped up, maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Ryan Milligan came across and really blew up that play. Didn't make the tackle, but threw everything off. And, of course, Dave Huey there on the tackle.
Milligan, the 6'2", 230-pound senior. And you take a look at Huey, who's right there with him. Huey has just made a ton of plays in the 2 weeks that we've seen
Look
him.
at all those stars on his helmet. You can see the left side. He is just loaded. And I wonder how many stars we've watched him in the couple of weeks we've seen him.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's been some that have been gained.
Yeah, we got 15 seconds left, and I don't know that Parma is going to run another play. I think they're just going to let the clock wind down and head into the final quarter up 7 points. And that's what's going to happen. So when we come back, it'll be a 2nd and 11. But, wow, what an interesting switch from last year we have as far as the way this game is going. We're coming back with a 4th quarter. It's 14-7 on the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week. 12 minutes to go when we return. Stick around.
American families like yours are facing financial decisions like never before. You inherit, change jobs, switch retirement plans. You need to understand how to maximize your choices. We can help. Hi, I'm Steve Clark, President of Clark Financial Services. We offer you a robust, comprehensive money management platform. As independent advisors, we keep your interest first in selecting the right investments for you. Call us today. Thanks.
Second now, Wenzel looking over the middle, has Swartz. Swartz tackled immediately, but gets to the 42. So it's a pickup of 5 on second down, bringing up a 3rd and 5.
It's big series here for the Redmen. They can put one in the end zone. They could probably put this game away because you're going to force the Invaders out of an offense that they're very comfortable with. They're going to go away from running the football. They're going to have to put it in the air, which will play perfectly into the Redmen's defensive theory.
Yeah, if Normandy comes up with a stop here, they're okay. They just have to get their offense moving. Wenzel, boy, fields another snap. It's the quarterback draw. It's been successful before. Wenzel, looks like he stopped just shy of the first down. Is that Lewis or Squirick comes up and makes the tackle? That's Squirick that comes up, and this will bring up a 4th and short, under a yard to go. Interesting call here, though.
I think you go for it because you want to try and put them away. You've got the lead. Take another look. Wenzel, been a successful play all night, shredding tackles, but Squirick coming up and saving what would have been a first down. They're taking a lot of time here. It's Castillo. They got to hurry up, get this in. Watch for the handoff.
4th and less than a yard from the 38.
They got to use the timeout.
And they're going to take the timeout there.
And if that's the case, you go ahead and kick it. I guess that's what you're thinking right now. But also give us a chance to tell you about Cox Digital Phone Service.
Are you going to close with the singers again?
I might.
All right.
I don't do requests all the time. There we go. There's our singers right there.
No, that's the band. I mean the singers.
Oh, okay. I might. Try unlimited value telephone service from Cox with unlimited local and long distance for less than $26 a month. Call 216-535-3500 or go to www.coxcleveland.com. It's huge. It's huge. Taking a look at
7 weeks
Invaders.
into the season, and I think that the things are really coming together.
I like to mix it up every week. You know that.
Well, Normandy's got plenty to talk about on the sideline, don't they?
One of the things they're talking about, don't jump off sides. There's a chance that they could just try to draw them off sides, get the free first down, and then go ahead and kick it. Because Wenzel's coming back out, or maybe they pooch kick it with Wenzel.
I got no problem with that call, because if you go for the first down and don't get it, wow, you really give Normandy.
Try to draw them off sides. Stay at home is probably what Coach Turner was telling us.
I hate watching it, but I think it's a smart call.
Pooch kick. Trying to draw them off sides.
Now they go.
No, they do go.
And Wenzel keeps it, picks up the first down.
Huge. Huge.
That is a big, big play. Gets to the 35. Only had to get to the 36, and it's a big first down. I like this. You get everyone thinking you're just trying to draw them, and then you run the play.
Wenzel on a delay, but he got a nice block from Joel Tureen up front, number 75. Tureen just pushed his guy about 5 yards deep, and Wenzel got in behind him for the first down.
From the 35. Just over 10 minutes left in this game. Parma trying to add to a 7-point lead. It's going to be Von Benken, and he muscles ahead. Boy, he carries about 4-yard gain. Had a couple defenders on his back. Boscovich in on the tackle, along with Squirick.
Wenzel really in control tonight. There's no question about that. Von Benken just following the left side of that offensive line.
Tell you what, he carries to Posey, a 287-pounder, and picks up 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Von Benken behind Castillo. Expect Parma to keep it on the ground here. I'm just saying. Van Benken gets out the left side, slips a tackle. He's met at the 30, and that's as far as he'll get. So it's a pickup of 1.
It's Squirick, Boscovich, Pierce all in there. And again, this play, had it gone for a first down, was because of the play action fake by Kevin Wenzel. Watch what Wenzel does with the football here. Kind of delayed a little bit. That's a great job by Wenzel to get it outside.
Tell you what,
Devon
though, that
Bank.
is a terrific job of Squire at working off his block. It looked like there was room, and he's able to shed his blocker in time to make the play.
They're a tough team to run on. They really are. You're talking about an entire drive. You're trying to get down the field on the run. It's tough against a team like Normandy.
Well, here we go with another huge play, 3rd and 5 for Parma. Wenzel, they got kind of a hook and go going over the middle. Swartz pulls up. Swartz makes the adjustment. Touchdown. 30-yard touchdown pass to Brian Swartz. Terrific adjustment under the ball. And how about that one? Parma up 13 points.
At the tail end of this play, it looked like Lewis played the man and not the football. But the whole entire time, Brian Schwartz picks up touchdown number 6 on the year as he went up and got the football.
So a 30-yard touchdown pass, Wenzel to Swartz. Wenzel's second TD of the night. Other one was a 60. Big plays aplenty. Now the extra point. And Finley kicks it up and good, and it is 21-7. And this play is worth another look, don't you think?
Yeah, watch what happens at the tail end of it. Michael Lewis, the play action fake, Michael Lewis plays the man and not the ball. He doesn't turn around to look at the football, and Schwartz has got it in the whole entire time. We're talking about one of the best receivers in the league. Another look. He goes up top, pump fakes it, give him time to get underneath it, puts plenty of air, but Lewis is he's playing the man. He has not looked back to figure out where the football is, so that's a touchdown each.
And what Swartz does is once your receiver knows that that's the case, he can do eye fakes, he can do all sorts of things, and the defender's going to jump.
I think Wenzel is closing in on a player of the game nomination. I hate to say that, but he's got my nomination.
Oh, so you're going to give away your hand?
Yeah, why not?
Because sometimes voting can be a private thing.
All right, well.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a night. You're not even talking about all the quarterback draws he's done to keep, really spark this running game. Most of the running yardage has come from Wenzel. Swartz on to kick off, and with 8:41 left, things getting a little tight on the Normandy side. They've got to come up with something pretty quick here.
Well, you got to score quick, but you don't do that on a running football team. But Rich Turner will continue to run the football, but you're putting him in a tough situation.
Well, he may try and get the ball swung out to Wypasic in different situations. This one is taken by Sala, and Sala trying to cross the field and now finds a little bit of room, carries out to the 30 and keeps going. This play didn't look like he had much room of return, but gets it out to the 34 where the Invaders will take over. They need 2 scores, but got good starting position.
They do have good starting position. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Turner does. I don't be surprised if they keep it on the ground early to try and get some things going, but that plays perfectly into the hand of Parma because it grinds up clock, and they know eventually that Casey Pierce is going to have to put this ball in the air in order to get some first downs, stop the clock a little bit for the chains to move, and keep it going.
Pierce has some weapons. Tell you, it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to flip the ball out to Squirick and let him start on the outside. He'll be this lone back. Travagalante goes out into the slot just inside of Wypasic on the left side. 4 receiver set. And they give it to Squirick inside, and Squirick's, well, trying to shake a tackle, and he cannot get out of the grasp of Scrow. Looked like he would, but how about Scrow? Another big play, and maybe it's a gain of 1. Squirick very slow to get up. He had a problem with his ankle or knee earlier and walked it off. Back to the huddle now.
Take another look. 61 right there at the point of attack. Holding on. Joel Tureen comes over to help him out over the top. But this 4 wide receiver set that they're in, they are not comfortable in this spread set.
No, surprisingly, he's still got 3 yards out of it now. Pierce looking left, pressure coming, comes over the middle. Travagalante across midfield. Travagalante to the 47. Good looking play.
And a great throw by Casey Pierce. Pierce waiting for Travagalante to come open over the middle as the linebackers went up. And this is Pierce. Sets up real nice. You can see Travagalante came out at the bottom of your screen. That is right on the money in stride.
7:50, 4th quarter, 21-7 game. Normandy gets across midfield. They've got to get in and score twice. Pierce again, lots of time going out and overthrows Wypasic, almost picked off and then almost caught by Rapp. That was just bouncing off everyone, wasn't it?
This is
Am I
tough
missing
situation.
something?
Little pinball action down there, but it was almost the same exact throw, just a different wide receiver. Wypasic, the intended receiver.
I think Swartz a little surprised that ball came off of him.
And you know he doesn't miss many catches, whether he's on offense or defense.
Yeah, but usually he expects them. That one you didn't really expect. Clock stops 7:37. It'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 46.
Still plenty of time. I mean,
there is. Absolutely there is.
plenty of times, especially where that Normandy defense plays. But you have got to get in the end zone. You've got to do it fairly quickly.
Well, the Invaders have all 3 timeouts. If they can drive down and score, they're okay. Getting in the end zone, though, has been tough tonight. Trying to get it out to Squirick, and maybe an ill-advised throw. Sinclair all over that play, and Pierce just throwing it away.
And Pierce had Ryan Rapp wide open down the right sideline at about the 25-yard line. But when you recognize that Squirick is not getting any kind of distance between himself and the defensive lineman, you've got to either tuck that ball down and run with it or make another decision. But I think he waited too long to get that out in the flat, because you could easily see there was no way he was going to dump that over Joel Turin's head.
Yeah, on that play, you're trying to suck Turin in a little more, Sinclair in a little quicker, and he wasn't buying it. He recognized the play, and there's the situation. 3rd and 10 now. Rich Turner's team in unfamiliar territory. Pierce has time. It breaks down. Now he scrambles. Now he's got some room. Gets out to the 40. Oh, can't break that tackle. Big hit. And that's Harsany. Who else that stops him at the 40. And that's 4 yards shy of the first down.
When Pierce took off here, it looked like he was going to get the first down. But Harsany recognized and never left that middle linebacker slot. Look, that is just a great open field tackle. But this is a big, big 4th down.
Yeah, and Rich Turner's going to take a timeout. You know, so many times in that situation, a guy's coming that fast trying to close ground, a little juke, and he's gone. And that is just great pursuit under control by Joe Harsany.
I think Pierce has played a good game tonight, too. I think he's picked up a lot of big yards on the ground. I mean, this is a junior. This is a guy that's going to be in Rich Turner's system. He's got a young football team. Squirick is a junior. He's back. Travagalante's a junior. Michael Lewis, junior. He's got a lot of young guys. You got a wide receiver. You start a freshman. So this is a team. Look out. I mean, this is a Normandy team. If they make it to the playoffs this year and make it 2 years in a row, next year's team could be the team you want to hang your hat on.
And you look at how much talent they had last year. What a terrific team Normandy had last year. And you know, it's time. You know, finally your seniors are going to graduate. But they had the Ebinger twins and, of course, Fiala and Galletti, and they were just loaded.
Well, your big loss will be on defense, Billy. I mean, this is a team that has always had great defenses, and your front 4 guys are all seniors: Milligan, Bobel, Toposi, Huey, seniors, Boscovich, senior, Wypasic. So this is a team that defensively is going to take its lumps, but offensively, with the system that they run and the guys that are coming back, it's almost fully intact.
Well, here we go. We talked about big plays earlier for Parma. 4th and 4. This time it's Normandy's offense needing to come up with a big play. They are flat at the 40. That's Squirick in motion. And it's a bad snap. Pressure coming in, and that's it. Pierce has to go down on it. And bad snap at one of the worst possible times. Parma takes over at the 45.
And the worst thing is that comes after a timeout. That's after a chance for your coach to call your team together, tell them what's going on. Everybody should be on the same page, and then something like this happens where the ball squibbles through his legs. And now with 6:44 left to go, you put the defense backed up and forcing a stop a Parma offense now that's just going to run the football and run the clock. So whether or not the Invaders get this ball back or not, there's going to be limited time. They're going to have to go down the field rather quickly.
6:44 left. Redmen at the 45. Give Smith, nothing there. May picks up a yard.
There's 2 timeouts left on both sides. The Invaders with 2 timeouts left. You almost think if you can get them into a 3rd down situation, you might want to call a timeout.
It's a pickup of 1. It's a really emotional, tough night for Normandy. And to wonder how they responded. They've played tough. They really have.
They really have. They got off to a great start, but some turnovers proved costly. And give credit to Parma for capitalizing.
Yeah, the Redmen going to let as much clock run as they can. We're getting up on the 6-minute mark before Wenzel settles in. And again, well, this time Wenzel keeps it, and he's wrapped up right away.
Don't be surprised to see a timeout here from the Invaders.
First one in is Boscovich, and Normandy is going to take that timeout.
It makes sense. I mean, there's 5 minutes and 49 seconds left in this football game. You got a 3rd and 12. And if you're Parma, you run the football again. You run the football again. You force them to take another timeout because the clock's going to stop at it with every first down anyway. So
right.
you've got that working for you. But that's kind of the way things set up. And this is, as you mentioned, it's a tough night. I mean, they're all remembering a classmate, a teammate, a good friend. It's homecoming. You're against one of your arch rivals. It's a game that means huge playoff points, especially if you're Normandy.
Yeah, it
playing
means
against
so
a Division
much,
I
but then
team.
all of a sudden you get hit with the reality of the tragedy that hits them, and it's just tough for anyone to respond. I mean, you're talking about high school kids, but it's just anyone to respond when you get that news, a couple hours before kickoff.
Coach Sears said it best, I think. He said it takes a back seat to life. This game it's so surreal tonight that you're going through and having to play this football game with the tragedy that happened that both teams found out about today. It's tough on both teams. If you're Parma, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You win this game, you don't win this game. And for the Invaders, you're playing with a heavy heart as you take a look at the 26.
So getting set to get back to action, 3rd and 12 from the 47. Normandy with 1 timeout remaining. Wenzel, yeah, you expect the quarterback draw, and not much there. Still on his feet, still trying to get to the outside. Wypasek chasing, and that's going to be you're looking for a face mask, and not called. Boy, it certainly looked like Wypasek got his hand on the mask. He didn't pull, but anyway, if you get your hand on the mask, that's going to draw the flag normally.
We're going to take another timeout. That might be another replay, one of those, because it looked like he got the face mask. And Wypasek put his hands up as soon as he was going down. Take another look. Watch, because this is going to come right at our sideline guy.
Number 4 is going to, there he is.
Watch him come into your skin. Watch the left hand. Oh, that's a face mask.
Yeah.
He got away with a face mask there.
I mean, to his credit, he didn't pull. But in the high school game, if you get your hand on there, it does not matter. That's a penalty.
Yeah, that is a penalty. And the Parma coaches were watching our replay. They're sitting right next to us.
And meanwhile, Keith Toposi walks off the field kind of holding his back, not feeling good. Hopefully he'll be okay. A big defensive lineman. And, of course, Normandy hopes that they'll have a reason to get him back out there. 4th and 11.
Best defensive lineman right there.
Yeah, he's stretching on the sideline, hoping to shake this thing off. 4th and 11. And Wenzel is back in punt formation.
Take all the time that you can until you see that back judge raise his hand.
Yeah, clock goes down, just about 5 minutes left, gets the punt off, and Lewis lets it go, and wow, it's going to be terrific field position. It dies just outside the 10 at the 11, and terrific field position for, terrific break for Parma. I knew what I was trying to say. Just, for some reason, I just can't verbalize it. There's Toposi. He's walking out a lot better than he was before.
Holding his back.
Take a look at load.
He is a load. 287 pounds. He is their best defensive lineman. And he's a guy that they're going to need healthy if they want to have any chance of making it to the postseason. But let's talk about the here and now. It's 89 yards, and you still need 2 scores.
And 4:55 remaining, 1 timeout remaining. I checked it. We got to check that and see if that's correct.
They only blew 2 minutes. I mean, they got the ball back. Parma got the ball back with 6-something on the clock.
So Pierce, the lone back, is Squirick. Redmen not showing blitz, shifting around, and they're just going to sit back. Now pressure comes. The ball thrown off to Squirick. He receives it at the 20, just shy of the first down.
Clock keep moving.
So that'll be 2nd and short.
Squirick's hurt. He comes up slow. He has had a rough
He is really
football
taking
game.
a beating tonight.
You can tell. He taking a shot at the tail end of this play. And Harsany.
Kazakis. Well, they gave him a first down. They gave him the yard, so it's first down.
I guess his forward progress gave him the first down.
Long way to go. That was a nice little chunk they picked up going over the middle again, trying to get Travagalante. Katsakis looks like he gets there a little early. No flag, 4:38. Clock stops, 2nd and 10.
Get lucky there. As Katsakis was just a little bit early on Mike Travagalante, who, I tell you what, that's some of the best blocking I've seen out of the backfield all year long. Number 9 has just buried people tonight. 4:38 left to go. 2nd and 10. Ball on the 21. There is a big chunk of field for Casey Pierce to cover.
Four receiver set. Lewis, Travagalante in the slots. Wypasek and Rapp on the wings. Pressure coming. Pierce in trouble. Steps up. Still on his feet. Shook one tackle. Couldn't get the other. I think we're getting a face mask. He was trying to squeeze free, and I think it's Sinclair may have grabbed his face mask, and that draws the penalty.
And coming right at the tail end as they grab Casey Pierce. Take another look at the tail end here. There's Scro to the outside. Gets spun around.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know that he actually got the face mask. He got the inside collar at first and released it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that call
He came
may have
up
been
underneath,
missed.
but I don't think he touched the face mask. I don't even think he got it.
So it's just a 5-yard penalty, 2nd and 8. Dump it off to Squirick. Here comes Harsany. Squirick gets by. Squirick still on his feet, gets out to the 31, and it looks like he picks up another first down. Check the mark. It looks like they're giving it to him, which case the chains move. Clock stops. 4:18. Normandy goes back to huddle. I don't know they can afford to do this. I think you got to go no huddle here.
Give Squirick a lot of credit. This kid's 210 pounds. We already saw how good an open field tackler Harsany is.
We never questioned anything about Squirick. His
Wow.
toughness and his deceptive speed. That was
Very
one of the things is
deceptive.
he got quicker this year. 1st and 10.
Got
Pierce,
room.
He finds himself some room. Now going downfield. Picked off. That's Swartz right in front. Swartz takes it at the 41. Pierce just trying to force that ball to wrap.
Like I said, that guy doesn't miss a lot of catches. It doesn't matter, offense, defense, and that's going to wrap this one up. You can sit on the football. Pierce got to force something to happen. You see Squirick is in the block, but still the pressure up front. You see Scro at the tail end forcing this one out. Schwartz is sitting on it. He's looking for Ryan Rapp. Steps in front of Rapp and has another pick. A lot of time to run now. 3:58 left to go, and time is on the side of the Redmen.
From the 41, Wenzel has had a terrific night throwing and running under center. Gives Smith not much room, gets to the 40, and Normandy should use their last time out here.
Boscovich is hurt. He's down. He's the player down in the middle of your screen, slow to get up.
So while we straighten this thing out, good time to check out the Cox Digital call of the game. Came with 2:26 left in the third quarter. 2:40 left. Wenzel looking up top, going for Kennedy's got him at the 40. Kennedy, it's a foot race now. Kennedy clears, and he is going all the way. A 60-yard touchdown connection, Wenzel to Kennedy, and Parma takes their first lead of the night.
What a play that was.
And there it was. And, of course, Wenzel had another exciting touchdown pass in the fourth quarter, and that's how we got to 21-7.
Yeah, Wenzel has had an outstanding game. He's looked really poised back there. He's got a lot of help from his offensive line. He's had a lot of time to make some plays. Clock running down. And it's time to put this one away as they pack that backfield.
Go to Castillo, finds a hole inside, gets down to the 35. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
So if things stay the way they are, Parma will win their 4th in a row, and they'll go to 5-2. And they've got Twinsburg next week, which should be a big, big game.
Huge game for Parma.
Parma
and Normandy hosts Brush.
And there's not a lot of playoff points there, as Coach Turner said, but you still got to play the game and you're still going to win it.
So 2:40 left. It's Castillo, middle again. Castillo going to be stopped at the 33. And we talk about player of the game. Boy, hard to argue with that one. And we give it to Kevin Wenzel. He's pretty much done it all tonight.
Yeah, Wenzel, a couple of touchdown passes, some big runs on the ground. This is a senior that's really been one of the keys to this Parma season. He's closing in on the school record for yards passing in a season. He came in just over 1,200, and he needs 19. So if he can pick up, then he probably has at least 100, 150 yards thrown tonight. You know, he got the 2 touchdown passes for 90.
Yeah.
So he's had it. He's had a good night throwing the football.
And we're not even talking about, the quarterback draw was so effective, especially, Rob Sear talked about wanting to establish the run, and he couldn't early.
No.
And it came from the quarterback draw, a few big ones. and then things seemed to soften up a little bit. But really, just a well-played game from Parma on both sides of the ball.
And taking advantage of turnovers, too. I mean, that's really the key of any football game. Parma was able to do that. The Invaders did it to score their first touchdown, but then Parma turned around and answered right away. So I think that you got to give the Redmen a lot of credit. They've come in here on a tough night. They were, in a lot of ways, they were the underdog. I mean, they hadn't won a game in this series since 2004. And I think the way things played out, this is going to be a big win for Parma.
Wypasek on 4th and 3, waiting at his 8-yard line for the punt. And Wenzel on to punt it. And that is going to go into the end zone. So 2:30 left in this one. Normandy takes over at their 20 with no timeouts left, down 14. And, boy, Rich Turner, I mean, it's just such a tough night for him. You know, I mean, the things that this team faced, and then, of course, you'd probably rather just not play a game tonight. But obviously you've got to, and, obviously bigger issues on their minds than a football game. But then, you lose a one and playoff points and all those things, and now you start to wonder, okay, can you still get in the playoffs?
Well, you got to keep it in mind. These are kids. I mean, this is high school football. You would expect them to have a problem to deal with something like this. They were told that their classmate, their friend, had passed away 2 hours before a football game. These are a bunch of kids. You can't expect them to take it like a bunch of players who are paid, to do it for a living. But they come in here, and they played their hearts out tonight, and this is a tough situation. But as Coach Turner said, there's no coach's manual that teaches you how to deal with the passing of anybody, whether it be a parent, somebody that's part of the program, but nonetheless a player, a child that's 16 years old. It's tough, and you got to give, you feel, your hearts go out to his family, and like ours certainly do, to the entire Perez family and the entire Normandy football family.
Pierce has Travagalante for the first down. And we're under 2 minutes left. Travagalante, boy, we talk so much about, the different things in Summers. What a terrific lead blocker. And he really does so much for this team, kind of taking over the role that Fiala had last year.
Yeah, and this team, it comes back. All these guys are coming back. Casey Pierce and all the key players on offense, including that kid right there, Mike Travagalante.
From the 34, they dump it out to Travagalante and tackled inbounds. That's Finari that comes up and makes the tackle.
What a great tackle that was, because the clock keeps going.
Yeah, Mike is thinking, I'll just make a little move, pick up some more yards before I go out of bounds. And
huge tackle.
Nico Finari doesn't allow that to happen.
Parma's made some great open field tackles tonight.
Pierce looking for a little room, keeps it, and gets out to midfield. Still going, cuts inside down to the 43 before he's wrapped up. Minute 4 left on the clock after they move the chains. They'll start it back up.
You got to get out of bounds. I mean, Casey got a little bit greedy there. Looks
well,
like he's hurt.
they'll stop the clock if you line up and just spike the ball. You're okay. You can get away with it, but yeah.
He already had the first down, and the clock was going to stop. But to get out of bounds, the clock will stop. And here he can go right here out of bounds. He's done. But no, he makes the decision to cut up. He already had the first down. But the clock is only going to stop until they move the chains.
Well, I don't know why the clock is still stopped now.
Well, there's a timeout that's been called.
Well, Normandy was out of timeouts.
Well, the Invaders were over there talking to Rich Turner. If it's an official timeout? No, that was an injured player.
Okay, Castillo was injured.
Yep.
So basically, if you're Normandy, you line up on the ball now. They get a little bit of a break. Fortunately, Castillo looks to be okay, but he's got to come off the field. They stop the clock, so Normandy should line up on the ball, and that's what you're seeing. And as soon as Castillo gets off the field, snap it.
He was hurt over on the Normandy bench. He rolled in trying to make the play.
I lost it.
On Pierce.
I have poor eyesight.
I know.
Clock starts, minute left. Pierce fields a low snap. And they're trying a little pitch play, and it works. Wrap goes out to Lewis, but he's wrapped up just shy of the first down.
Hook and ladder, and you got to either dump one into the ground right here. Pierce taking his time.
Well, he's got to wait for his lineman to get set. 41 seconds left. Pierce keeps it and pitches out to Squirick, and Squirick did a 20 to the 50 to the 17, jumps out of bounds. Good looking play.
So there's a smart football player right there. He knew what he needed to do to get out of bounds. He could have made a move. If this was second quarter, Squirick tries to run that guy over. Great job by Pierce on the pitch play. And then watch Squirick. Out of bounds, nothing fancy.
While they're in striking distance, you throw it in the end zone here from the 17, excuse me. It's got to start up front. You wonder if Parma would blitz, but up 2 scores, and they'll just wait back.
That's all you do. I'm surprised you're even rushing 4 guys. I would send 3 guys back and just put everybody 3 guys up.
Well, because even if someone gets open, it's going to take a lot of time.
Absolutely, because it's going to be in space.
They try another play to Lewis, kind of a slant in, terrific tackle. Great play by Kennedy coming up and chopping out his legs.
I can't say enough about the open field tackles that the Redmen
really
have made.
been impressive tonight.
Been huge.
Normandy out of timeouts and 10 seconds left. Got to throw this in the end zone. Pierce waiting. Now he's going to run. Now gets to the 5. Touchdown.
With 1 second left on the clock.
15-yard touchdown run from Pierce, and that makes it 21-13.
Squirick getting up slow and kind of limping off the field. What a night he has had. Boy, he has been all over the place. And when you play both sides of the football, you got to be a tough kid, especially when you know you're going to be the key on both sides of the football. And Parma certainly has keyed on him all night long. Nice run by Casey Pierce. I'll tell you what, I don't think, as well as Kevin Wenzel runs, and there's a late man coming on the field here, careful of getting a penalty for the delay of game.
Kuhn on for the extra point. And the kick is good. You have a 1 second onside kick play. You got to kick it up on the sideline. Somebody's got to catch it. Someone's got to catch it and run with it.
You got to get a big bounce. It's tough. It's tough to score in high school football on a play like this because knee equals down. And there is Squirick.
Yeah, you've got to kick it up, and someone's got to try and catch it and run. And
tough.
Yeah. But regardless, really tough played game by both teams.
Here's another look at that run again. Casey Pierce did a great job. There's Squirick, the lead blocker. Pierce looking downfield, freezing the safeties, the corners, and then just taking it all the way in for the touchdown. A nice run by the junior. 21-14, there's a look at him. He'll be back. That entire backfield is back next year.
And don't forget, we're back. Next week, it's Lakewood at Medina. Our second look at the Rangers. Team really building this year with new coach Ron Lewis.
Saw that
over from Rocky River.
4 weeks ago. About 4 weeks ago, we saw him against Parma. So Parma looking for their 4th win in a row, go to 5-2. And try to strengthen that run as they get ready for the Tigers of Twinsburg next week. That's going to be a great football game. And Normandy will get ready for Brush, who went into tonight 0-6. Here comes the onside kick.
Kuhn puts it in play, and that's ball game. Recovered up front, and Parma ends their losing streak against Normandy. Just a tough night all around for Normandy. Of course, much bigger things on their minds, but a very well-played game, and Parma ends up winning this one 21-14. Again, we'll look for you again next week as we're off to Medina. For our entire crew, all the guys working hard in the truck, and, of course, the camera guys, and, oh, yeah, what's his face next to me, Mike Cairns. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week from Medina on the Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week.
Good night, everybody.
Ebinger breaks the tackle. Ebinger into the end zone. Workus has time, goes to the corner of the end zone. Pollock, touchdown. Unbelievable. Shannon under pressure. Shannon goes down. The Cox Communications High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Cuyahoga Community College, Clark Financial Services, Lakewood Hospital, and Parma Community Hospital.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Foster, Director of the City Club. I've known Jim Rackauckas for many years, and like so many people in this community, have tremendous admiration and respect for his intellect and dedication as a public servant. So I listen with interest when he suggests a program. I know he does not seek the limelight for his own interests, but to advance an issue he feels is important for the public to understand. Therefore, it's with a certain admission that we missed that one when I, like so many other people, did not fully understand what Jim was saying when he called about 3 years ago to propose the City Club really ought to do something on this growing problem with foreclosed properties. We very definitely should have done a program back then. Jim Rackauckas was truly, for a couple of years, the canary in the coal mine. Fortunately, Jim, unlike canaries, did not have to expire to give his warning. And we did the program. Although about 2 years later than it should have been, last August, Mr. Rackauckas presented an excellent forum outlining the problems we were all facing, banks, homeowners, investors, and communities, as the mortgage foreclosure crisis was unfolding around us. At the time, he said the worst was still to come, and so it was. But what I have also come to expect from Jim Rackauckas is that he does not just talk about problems, he looks for solutions. Before the crisis had even fully developed, he was instrumental in creating the foreclosure prevention program for Ohio. And when I was talking with Jim recently about the legacy of the foreclosure crisis, communities littered with vacant and vandalized homes and their impact on neighborhoods, he suggested that there might be a follow-on program about the proposals to address these devastating problems. This time I was much quicker to take him up and invite him to the City Club podium. Today we welcome Cuyahoga County Treasurer Jim Rackauckas to discuss Ohio's plan for land banking to deal with the aftermath of the subprime mortgage crisis. Jim?
Thanks, Jim. I feel so much at home here. I see all these friends and family here in the front row, my wife, daughter, my father-in-law. Very comfortable here today. I'd like to thank you, Jim, and the City Club for giving the opportunity to speak here today on our desire to create a Cuyahoga County land bank, a very different land bank from the passive land banks that we are familiar with, and how I think a county land bank will become a very helpful and essential tool in dealing with the thousands and thousands of vacant properties that have been created by this foreclosure, this cataclysmic foreclosure crisis. And as you mentioned, Jim, I spoke here last year on the foreclosure crisis at the City Club. Much has happened in the last 10 months. Unfortunately, very little of it any good. Foreclosures capped out last year at about 15,500. We have people here from Policy Matters Ohio who have done great research on this topic. About 15,500 last year in Cuyahoga County. That was up from 13,500 in 2006 and way up from 3,500 in 1995. And based on the data from the first 4 months of this year, I think we're facing a similar number of foreclosures in 2008, somewhere in the 15,000, 16,000 range. However, it's worth noting that we're no longer leading in this category. In this dubious distinction, we're no longer first. That honor has now passed on to Las Vegas. For a long time, 44105, the famous zip code in Tony Rancatelli's Slavic Village was first in the country. Now you're way down, Tony. You're in the 50s or 60s. 8 of the top 10 zip codes leading in foreclosure are in Las Vegas, Nevada, and many other zip codes in California and Florida have also moved well ahead of Cleveland. But we continue to lose population, and the number of vacant properties continues to skyrocket. The Director of Community Development in Cleveland, who was with yesterday, Director Rush, pegs the number of vacant properties just awaiting demolition in the city of Cleveland at about 8,500. An informal survey we've done of council members on the number of vacant structures within the city of Cleveland, and I don't know the number. I've heard 12, I've heard 13,000. Mayor Jackson was quoted in an article in Newsweek that came out today. I think his quote was, "Pick a number." I recently received a list of vacant and foreclosed properties in the city of Cleveland Heights. I know we keep hearing it's 900 properties, but here's what I know. I was given a list of vacant and foreclosed properties in Cleveland Heights. It was 89 pages long, and there were 21 entries per page. You can do the math. Garfield Heights vacant property list, acknowledged vacant property list, around 1,450 vacant properties. Maple Heights is at least that number. Maple Heights continues, I think, to lead the county in foreclosures. Warrensville Heights is at least 500. Shaker Heights at least 500. East Cleveland, we believe about 2,500. Euclid, somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 vacant properties. And you quickly get a very clear indicator of why this county has lost over 90,000 people in the past 7 years. The second worst population loss of any county in the country, next to New Orleans Parish. And as I said many times, New Orleans had Hurricane Katrina. We had out of control and irresponsible lenders. The impact of these vacancies is wide-ranging. Millions of dollars are going to be spent throughout Northeast Ohio by strapped local governments, money they don't have. We know that the city of Cleveland is going to spend millions on upkeep. They're spending, I believe, $8 million last year, close to $8 million. I think they've budgeted. I'm going to look to Jay Westbrook. Is it 9 or 10? I know it seems to be $9 million. $9 million this year for demolition. Shaker Heights is going to spend $500,000 this year on the upkeep of vacant properties. Euclid, a similar number. And I was at a forum recently in Westlake about foreclosures. They even have foreclosure forums in Westlake, where I sat next to the finance director who got up and said they're going to spend all kinds of money this year they hadn't budgeted on the maintenance of vacant and foreclosed properties in Westlake, Ohio. The demolition bill in this county, primarily Cleveland and to a lesser extent East Cleveland, I've got to believe is in excess right now of $125 million. And the longer it takes to demolish these properties, the greater the hit on the value of surrounding properties. There's a widely quoted study out there by a guy named Dan Immergluck. He's a professor at Georgia Tech University, and he talks about how your property value is affected if you live next to a vacant property or there are vacant properties across the street, one on your block, two on your block. What do you think your property is worth when you live on a house, in a house on a street that has 15 homes, 10 of which are vacant? Thousands of appeals have been filed before the Board of Revision. Appeals by citizens who basically are saying my property has no value. I went up to the Board of Revision yesterday, and I grabbed a sampling of some of these complaints. These are real live complaints, real live city residents who filed complaints asking that their property taxes be reduced. Let me just read you a real quick sampling. Here's one that was filed just recently with a man who lives on Ridpath Avenue. I think it's in South Collinwood. That homeowners across the street from me moved out and the properties have all been vandalized. He then proceeds to list 6 vacant properties that are within his own block. Here's one in Glenville, East 109th. Abundance of empty, boarded-up houses. My son is in this house just to keep out the vandals. Here's another one. This one is on the west side. It's on West 88th. It says here, no less than 6 houses are directly across the street and beside me that are abandoned and foreclosed. Here's another one on the west side, West 47th. This is the area I represented in City Council, my old ward. It says, my home has been vandalized. Nobody's longer living in it. The copper plumbing has been stolen. Here's one on East 151st Street. There are vacant homes on my street. The property next door to me looks like a jungle. And here's one, West 48th. This is also my old ward. She attached photos of vacant homes, properties, 5 vacant properties within a block of her house. And here are the ones that I find most difficult to read. This is an elderly woman that lives on Iowa Avenue. I think it's also in Glenville. She said she bought her home in 1964, and she said, foreclosures have ruined this neighborhood. I have nowhere to go. This, when you talk about who the victims are, this is your victim right here. This is a woman who bought a house, played by the rules, had lived there since 1964, and there's nothing left for her to do. She can't sell her house. She's trapped. So when we talk about who the victims are, you have to keep in mind women like that woman because of what she's going through. How are these thousands and thousands of vacant properties being disposed of? Initially, the mortgage trusts have hired realtors who try to dispose of them in a conventional fashion. But as most city councilmen here will tell you, and there's also Councilman Simperman is here. How many members of the city council? We have 3? Who else is here? 3, okay. Well, in any event, I always have to, I spent so many years in city council, I have a kinship with my former colleagues. But as they'll tell you, most of these councils will tell you, by the time they get to a realtor in Cleveland, most of these houses have been vandalized and they've been stripped of everything of value in the property, of the copper pipes, the wiring, the doors, the windows, the fixtures, all gone. And as you might imagine, that tends to depress the sales price just a little. In fact, they often don't sell at all. You know they don't. Sometimes they end up being sold in bulk. Out-of-town companies like Econo Homes. We all know that. Those of you who live in Cleveland have been dealing with them. Or Destiny Ventures. You've been reading about them in the paper. There are speculators who claim to be well-intentioned, but for every home they rehabilitate, and there aren't many, for every one they rehabilitate, there's probably 10 that remained untouched. And if you want to read more about these, there's no better blog in Cleveland today than the one done by Bill Callahan. And it's Callahan's Cleveland Diary, and he chronicles this as well as anybody in town. And he just chronicled the saga of, I think, Destiny Ventures last week. So most of these don't end up being rehabbed. They end up sitting, remaining empty. You can also buy a home in Cleveland on eBay. I don't know if you know that wonderful online auction method. For $1,000, maybe $1,500, perhaps $2,500. I just saw one yesterday on Mount Overlook. It had been bid up to $5,500. Well, I haven't received an email now in 2 weeks. I would regularly receive emails from people all over the country who would tell me they had just purchased a home in Cleveland on eBay. Would I be so kind as to tell them what their property taxes would be? Hundreds of these properties are disposed of at auctions. I know you've attended some, Tony, where speculators show up. There are hotels on I-77 in Rockside, out there in 71 in Bagley, where hundreds of people show up with the hope of cashing in on some great deal. From what I have seen of these sales, people who buy these properties have no intention of living in them. Rather, they hope to accomplish a quick turnaround, a quick flip, and a nice profit. Before I talk about our proposed land bank, which we will call the Land Reutilization Corporation in the legislation, but we'll call it land banker, it's simpler, I want to discuss briefly what the foreclosures and the plummeting real estate market can do to property values and tax collection. In 2009, the county auditor will be doing an update of property values. Let me digress for a second. I don't know if you've noticed, as the gas prices go up, the defacing of Frank Russo on gas pumps are getting much more obscene. You notice? I said, Frank, at $3 a gallon, you really should take your mug off those pumps.